and welcome everybody to the State of the Onion, Series 4, Episode 1. And basically, it's tarot cards, mediums, Ouija boards, and there's a point for that, and Ouija boards, and I don't know what else. What else are there? Oh
Astrology.
yeah, astrology.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
it's this title wasn't in my stars tonight, so I don't know what the
Mm.
fuck I'm doing. But hey, that's you. That's normal. That's normal. Um,
Yeah.
the other thing I want to do is let me just do that. Add that to the stage. Ouija boards. Ouija boards. Do you know anybody that does Ouija boards? I think everybody's had a go at Ouija boards, haven't they? Really.
I got
So,
one.
what's not to like about Ouija boards? Yeah, exactly. I think everybody's had a go at them. Let's see what this person has said about Ouija boards.
Okay.
This is Simon's Funk. Okay, I think this is when we were talking about is personal anecdotal subjective evidence grounds to say something is reasonable, even though they cannot display it or show it to be true.
I've had the weirdest experiences with Ouija boards that I can't explain. Like legit, like with other people and by myself. So it's even though I do believe it's the idiomotive effect, right?
Okay, all right. This is Simon's Funk. Okay,
Sorry.
I think this is
There we go, Fabio.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah,
Could you
super.
introduce the topic for us?
Yeah, super interesting title. Tarot cards, mediums, Ouija boards, and astrology. Are they dangerous? So the short version is yes. They're dangerous. They're dangerous because and they're way more dangerous than religion or anything you can think about in terms of what people can believe. I don't think there's nothing more dangerous than that kind of stuff, including spiritism and or spiritualism, as it's called sometimes. And yeah, the reason being that it is still something that people try to believe, even if they have no real either proofs or objective facts about them. Much like religion, but the main difference is that you can make a good case about religion by saying that in a way I'm talking in general, of course. They're trying to give you some kind of moral guidance or whatever. This kind of stuff is purely I mean, it's at best idiotic, and it's mostly exploited by people which only make money out of it. So yeah, I mean, if you ask me if they're dangerous, I would say definitely yes. The funny part is that I mean, w- we've heard somebody before, saying that they had some weird experience by Ouija boards. There is I just want to start with that with a like a small thing. Ouija boards were copyrighted by Parker Brothers, the same one that made Monopoly. And when they sold it to Hasbro, from their books, Ouija boards, they were selling. They made more money out of Ouija boards than from Monopoly. There is also another fun story about Ouija boards when the guy tried to copyright that thing. The story goes that the guy saying, at the copyright office saying, man, you can't really do that. I said, well, it's working. And the guy said, okay, if it works, just show me that it works. And they tried, and story goes that it worked, so they got the copyright. It's a bunch of shit, right? So, and that doesn't mean. I mean, there is a lot of people which I fully understand. There is a lot of people, well, I would say falling for it. Even some apparently smart people. Conan Doyle was one of them, among the most famous. But that doesn't mean that they're not dangerous. It just says that uh, these the kind of creeds and and beliefs and things that uh, even smart people. I mean, being smarter, being intelligent in one aspect of your life doesn't save you from believing this kind of shit.
Indeed, indeed. So there was another little story which I gleaned from the same thing that you sent me, the link you sent me, Fabio,
Yeah,
which I
yeah,
thought was absolutely hilarious.
yeah.
Where
Okay.
later on, a woman, I believe it was a woman, wrote a book that she claimed that she channeled Mark Twain through,
Yes,
and she
yes,
published it under Mark Twain's name.
yes.
And then they basically turned around and said to her, "Well, you can't do that. You can't use an author's name like that." And she said, "Well, uh, I channeled it. I channeled
Yeah,
Mark Twain through the Ouija
yeah,
board, and he gave me this book title and the ideas and stuff, and I
yeah,
just wrote it down." And they said, "Well,
yeah,
in which case, if you in fact channeled it through Mark Twain,
yeah,
then we will take the copyright because we
yeah,
own the rights to Mark Twain's books. So
yeah,
if it is in fact Mark Twain's book and you don't take the
yeah,
name off it, we will have
yeah,
the money for it." And she ended up not settling with the company. She ended up, in fact, taking the book out of publication, so
yeah.
she didn't have to pay any money back for the
Yes.
money she'd made already.
Yeah.
Just
But
goes
that,
to
but
show
that
you
is
how ridiculous it is,
That
really.
that didn't
but
show up in the
that is
cards, huh?
that
Yeah.
yeah, but that is a typical behavior of these kind of people, mediums, and people with channel spirits and all that stuff. When they're cornered, you only back off, when you can't, when you're just put in a corner, and you only back off as much as you possibly can,
As little as
but
possible, yeah.
but not
Hmm.
giving up anything. You just have to leave something there. I mean, the story is full of mediums
Yeah.
which have been caught red-handed, and just said, saying, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah," but it was that time, but all the other times they were true. I mean, what the fuck
Yeah.
are you talking about, right?
Yeah, so another little story from that is there was a medium who spent a lifetime, 40 years. She started as a child, her and her sister started as children, and she spent 40 years just screwing the hell out of people, giving
Yeah, the
readings,
Fox
etc.,
sisters.
etc. The two sisters, yeah, and
Yeah,
one
the
of them,
Foxes. Yeah,
yeah, that's right, and one of them decided to spill the beans, or got
yeah,
offered a large amount of money to spill the
yeah,
beans and tell her what the secrets were. So she came forward and said, "Yeah, it was all a hoax. This is how we did it. Dot dot dot. These were the tricks we used, etc., etc., etc." And the newspaper paid her. They published the article, and everybody went, "Oh my goodness,
yeah,
isn't that terrible?" And then some, like 15 years later or something, she turned around and started giving medium sessions again, and just said,
yeah,
"No, it was all true, and I only did that to get the money, and
yeah,
now I'm not doing it to get the money, and I'll start doing medium sessions again." And
yeah,
lo and behold, she had a second career as a
yeah.
medium. So
Which,
it goes
by the
to show you
way,
credulity is
yeah.
part of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and by the way, the money you're talking about, I can't remember if it was the amount, but in today's money, it would have been $50,000. So this is the amount of money that people, making this kind of job
Mm.
manages to get out of it.
We
Yeah.
have a house in town here that's in the old part of town, shall we say, where kind of fallen down and everything. And yeah, that's where the medium is, with the neon sign that says, however much it is and everything. And it's like, yeah, they don't do very well. And
There you go.
not on the other side of the tracks, so to speak. It's in the part of town you don't want to go to when it's dark out.
And by the way, just a final point, and then I'll shut up and let you guys talk. If spiritism, tarots, Ouija boards are bullshit, astrology is bullshit with cherry on top. On the scale of bullshit, that's even more bullshit, or at the bottom, because maybe there's more shit. I know it depends how you see that. So that would be
Yeah.
my
Fair enough. I just want to point this out. The spooky bed-haired spirit animal is a chocolate cake.
Mhm.
So thank
There
you
you
very
go.
much for that, Spooky. I think that's great. Okay, I'm going to throw it out to everybody now for a general all-round discussion and get to the bottom of this. I don't know. Serb, you're... what star sign are you, Serb?
Let's see. I think I'm a Leo.
You are. You act like a Leo, and you've got 4 dogs there, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the sign of a Leo. So over to you, Serb.
Over to me. I got much to say about tarot. Okay, I got one thing to say about tarot cards. Why
It doesn't
is
have
it?
to be tarot cards. It can be anything. It could be anything.
Why, I know, but I'm thinking of tarot cards right now. But why
Okay.
is it when someone's like reading the cards, they always assume the words they quote unquote get work the way, or they're specifically saying the thing that they imagine, right? They flip over a card and imagine the card means like they're going to win $1 million or they're going to get $1 million, but they never ever think that that $1 million will fall on them from a skyscraper and kill them. Like, why is it always in the way they want it to be?
Well, when I had my tarot card lessons, and you can see it on my channel, it's very complicated how they read the cards. It's not just one thing. There's numbers on there. There's nature signs on there. There's the elements and all that. So it can be a very broad reading on just about anything. So
Yeah. Okay. What? Let me put it more simpler. Why do people not act like it's an evil genie instead of a good genie?
depends who you talk to. The Christians are scared to death of them. I bring up tarot cards or Ouija boards. It's like, you need to get that out of your house. It's full of demons and all these things and blah, 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 blah.
I think it's for the same reason why people which believe in reincarnation, they're all bloody Napoleon or in the they live there were somebody in the Senate in Rome. Nobody was a peasant which died of tuberculosis in the 1500s.
That's dead on, Fabio. It's always, in a past life you were the queen or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
I must
have
have
been. Carry on.
Yeah, not you literally, Fabio, obviously.
I must have just read too much like eldritch horror in my life. If I ever thought there was some eldritch magic going on or some talking to some being, I would just assume that I'm completely screwed. Like, no matter what I thought it said.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm going to look on the horror side for sure. I'm going to think, oh my goodness.
Peter Atkins would say that he thought he'd gone mad. So.
Yeah, I thought I'd be in like what was that film? The 70s film called? With the girl, the
Exorcist.
Girl. Exorcist, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a great.
I just go, oh shit, I'm in the Exorcist. I'm not going to sleep tonight. That's for sure. Okay, so
sleep with one eye open.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I was going to say. Is there was another Jung quote. About him saying tarot cards. I mean, this is brilliant. I've got to look it up, in fact. But it's something to the... Oh, my goodness. This was great. I'm just going to look it up so I get it right first time.
Yeah.
I've had the best luck with a magic 8-ball, to be honest. Save your money on all the other stuff. Just get the magic 8-ball.
It says, the quote goes, the tarot in itself is an attempt at representing the constituents of the flow of unconscious. Therefore, it is applicable for intuitive method. And that's just one of them as well. He also said that I know, that's just one of them. He also said Carl Jung saw the tarot as a psychological mirror reflecting archetypes and the symbolic narratives that resonate within human experience.
What the actual fuck?
Oh my god! And I went, oh, Jordan Peterson. No wonder.
Yeah.
This is all the fucking bollocks that he talks.
And with the tarot, I got one of my tarot cards in front of me. Here we go.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. To start out with, it's how you draw it, because there's 180 degrees on a tarot card. So you can read it one way or you can read it the other way.
Depends on the
Then
deck.
you also, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you've got a number. You've got
Brilliant.
fire for the element. You've got
Bruce.
a yes and a no. You've got shapes. And then you've got the image. And then, yeah, one way it's positivity, pleasure, happiness. The other way is inner child feeling down, overly optimistic, negativity, depression, sadness. So you have like a 180 on how you draw the card too. So it's very, very open for like a cold reading or something, whatever you're reading from the person. Yeah, you can fit it right in very easily.
Right. So that is, of course, you mentioned cold reading there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody want to talk about cold reading for me?
Well, I mean, there are basically three types of three techniques that mediums use to guess, or I mean, to divine, whatever the fuck they're trying to divine, from the person. Maybe justify how they're gonna steal their money. There is cold reading. Cold reading is basically asking questions, usually in the form of negation. Something like, "Well, you're not self-employed, aren't you?" So stuff like that, and you try to get information from the person. From the answers of the person. Usually, they say more than what they think they do. And then there is warm reading. Warm reading is when the medium knows a little bit about you. Like it might be, and this is actually one of the reasons why, if you try to get a setup with the medium, they usually never admit you in the office right away. They tell you, "Oh, you can come, in a week or whatever." They try to gather information, usually public information and stuff like that. And then there is hot reading. Hot reading is when they know specific things about you.
They got an earpiece in their ear. That's
Well,
and they're
no,
being fed stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if it's done live, yes, but
Yeah.
if it's by appointment, they gather info specific from you, from various means and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
So
they'll
that would
often
be
give
the
you a
three
little.
types.
They'll give you like a Q&A card too. Like it's supposed to like it'll say something like some basic info about yourself or something like that. But yeah, just in
Oh,
that
no, I
though,
mean-
you can get a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, but they can also, through public records and stuff like that, information specific to you, spending a little bit more time than with warm reading. Warm reading might be just, where you live, what you do for a job and stuff like that. While hot reading would be what exactly you're doing, what the names are of your colleagues, and, specifically what you do for a job, stuff like that. So, yeah. And there are some other techniques. There is shotgunning, for example. They just bombard you with questions, and they try to get a reaction from you, and then they pursue that road. Uh, yeah, I mean, that are various techniques. It's really funny. I had um, a relative of mine a couple of weeks ago, and she was telling, "Oh yeah, yeah, that person, blah blah blah. Oh, she really told me things about me." And I was like, "Listen, I mean, that is total bullshit, that." And I turned to another relative of mine, which I haven't seen for a long time, and say, "Look at that. I'm really sure that something happened to you while you were about 7 that you still remember, and you carried on in your life." And he said, "Oh yeah, 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 there was that guy, that thing." I said, "See, I mean, I have no fucking idea what he's talking about, right?" But there you go. And when he goes away, what you will remember is that I made him a question. I told him something that was true. I basically didn't tell him anything. He told me stuff. But what you will remember is that I was right on spot, and then knew that thing. And this is, a psychological phenomenon by which, people just, drool after these people.
Yeah. So in the chat, I've just put in a link, and it's in the context banner below. The man who contacts the dead, Derren Brown, investigates, and it gives an example of all three types of reading: cold reading, where Derren Brown does it himself into a crowd, and then warm reading, where they get somebody who is kind of, you think is what's the word, unknown to the psychic reader, but in fact he's done a bit of investigation, and then it does a kind of a warm reading, really, just looking at the person's face and taking note on what he's saying, and he fucked it up royally. And then a hot reading where he's actually got his neighbour to come round and show Derren Brown that he's a proper psychic. So there you go. That's in that video there, by the way. And that's also the video referred to in the in Fabio's link as well, by the way. Okay, so yeah, that's the kind of. Then there's of course Barnum statements as well, as we know about. And that's what astrology works on. Has anybody had some experience with astrology? Yeah. Nobody? Anybody heard it?
I've got a deck, but I haven't. I have a stream lined up with somebody to look at the deck, so I haven't opened it yet. But I have an astrology card deck.
Well,
I have
tarot deck.
experience.
And a tarot deck. Yeah. I got
I
it all.
also got an oracle
See it.
deck. Yeah. Have you slept with it by your bed yet?
I was given all the instructions about putting it under your pillow and blowing smoke over it to cleanse it, and there's all kind of things to do. Yeah. That's it. It's all in my video. You can check it out on my channel. Robin Webster was on with me. She used to do a lot of that stuff, and so she was talking me through it, and I learned a lot.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, not personally. I've learnt a lot from the James Webb telescope. So,
Oh, and James Randi, I wanted to mention with the cold readings.
Oh yeah.
He did those series of television shows where he would bring the different supernatural claimants on, and one of them did a cold reading, and the guy said, "Well, she did." This was after the show. He said, "Well, she did, know my uncle's name was Bob or whatever." And James Randi said, "Really?" He goes, "I want to pull back the transcript on that real quick." She threw 30 names at him until she got a hit, and he didn't even notice it. 30 names. I said, "Yeah, if I threw out 30 names, I'd probably hit one of your relatives too."
Yeah, that's when you're doing a reading, if you can downplay anything that you've gotten wrong, people will not notice it. You can absolutely sweep it under the rug. She didn't have a very close relationship with her father, did she? Oh, she did. Yeah, I was getting that. Like it's those type of like Barnum statements and pull it out, and absolutely, like as long as you say it in a way that sounds like you doubt it, then you can just brush it under the rug.
But you can do better than that. You can also turn a negative. Like for example, you can tell somebody.
Yeah.
You can tell somebody, I see dogs, right? And then you go on, asking. It turns out that the guy never had a dog, but he had a cat. And so you can tell him, "Oh, that's why I saw dogs, because cats are afraid of dogs, and that's why I saw dogs." But that's what I really meant to say.
Absolutely.
And it's easy. It's easy because usually you're talking to somebody which is already committed in believing you. Right?
That's absolutely. That's when I would do readings. That was basically the agreement that I was making, was to tell you whatever it was that you came in to hear from me, and that's. Yeah.
There it is. I can't believe how you knew I had a dog, Fabio. That's just blown my mind right there.
There you go. Yeah.
Blown my mind. So you know, like several people here, right? We've had tarot cards, right? We've all, I mean, I personally haven't used tarot cards.
Got 3 decks in front of me right now.
Okay, well done. I've never used mediums, of course. I don't think I tried a Ouija board once, but like after about a minute, I just started pushing it around myself because it was just silly. And you know, it was something like, you know, I was using it with somebody, and I just went, "Let's ask it questions then." So I started asking it, like, you know, "Will you get laid tonight?" "Oh yes." "Okay, that's amazing. Who will I get laid with?" That's Lucy. "Oh, your name's Lucy, isn't it?" You know, and I thought, "Oh, well, that. Oh, that'll never work, obviously," and it didn't. To be fair, it didn't work, but not for want of trying.
I'm
So
surprised it didn't.
Now,
there
see,
you
I
go.
think you're doing it wrong because I had a girlfriend who was really into tarot cards and astrology, and every time I heard her talk about astrology, or tried to talk to me about astrology and tried to use tarot cards with me, I knew that told me what the future was and that we were just gonna fuck later.
Ooh.
There you
All
go.
I had to do was shake my head the right direction.
Now we know why they put out Ouija boards.
Yeah.
There is a what is the name, Simos? The name of the phenomenon with the Ouija board? IRM, in
Uh,
involuntary muscular response and stuff like that. Maybe
yeah, it has a
involuntary
specific name.
motor response, things like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's
It's the
another
same
name as
thing.
well beginning with P. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
That
But
yeah, that's how
which is
Steve ended up with tarot card experiences by himself.
By himself.
No,
By
Amazing.
Steve was
himself.
using a Ouija board by himself.
Oh, that's right. It's a Ouija board. My
yeah,
bad. Sorry. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I stand corrected.
And it's the same thing with the how do you guys call that device? You know that
Pendulum.
you
Yep.
yes, yes. It's the same. It's the same thing. You know, you think your hand is steady, but actually, you know, it isn't. You know, and you know the ways to demonstrate that. You know, just put it on another device and just touch the device, it won't move. But yeah, I mean,
Or have
and
a stationary camera and then track the movements of your hand from
yeah,
the stationary
yeah,
camera. It's
yeah,
it's
yeah. But
but
the thing is that you know, and that is an interesting thing because
that's how people
there are
convince
some,
themselves.
yeah, but there are some people which are uh, delusional and they really think have got that kind of power.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Yeah, they
yeah.
absolutely convince themselves doing it. And that
I
Usually,
mean,
usually
particularly
they're the
depends on
ones which are not making too much money. By the way,
yeah, I would agree.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I
yeah. I
do
mean,
think that there are people who will dilute themselves into believing it. There was uh I'm trying to remember the name of there was 2 women and it was a while back, but it was years ago. The one woman like became famous as a medium, and she had a twin sister, and the twin sister was like not a believer whatsoever, but the one who was the medium ended up like died, and the twin sister basically just like took over her job
There you
and
go.
became like this much more famous, much more like wealthy, well-known medium as a non-believer. Like because she was
Mm,
just like, okay, well, this is a job. At that point, she like when her sister died, they didn't have any money, and that was she took her sister's job because her sister was the only one who had a job, basically, and then was able to like have a very very successful career as a tarot card reader. And it turned out that she was absolutely not a believer whatsoever.
yeah. Okay, so Darren Brand did a couple of series on mediums because obviously he likes to debunk these things, and there's a brilliant one where he goes to somewhere in LA or California, Sedona or somewhere like that, and actually tricks the people that are giving courses for mediums, right? And so this is how people get into it without knowing that they're doing it falsely, so to speak, how they really believe it, because they go to somebody who knows the tricks, who is being deceptive, and they learn, right, the things, and they get taught in such a way as they think that it is real, because obviously they don't want to give the game away, that it's just a false thing, right? Because otherwise they wouldn't have new students turning up. So they teach them
Exactly.
as if it is real. And then, so they literally teach people to cold read and to warm read, especially, right? So to take people's answers and feed them back to them. When they see a hit, then they recognize it and feed it back to the person as if it's new information. Quite often, So that's one of the ways that people genuinely think that they're doing it, and it's not until later that they find out that they're not really genuinely have some sort of divine power or supernatural power. And of course, by then they're already making money, which means that they have an incentive just to carry on doing it, or to fool themselves, more likely, into thinking that it is real. And one of the things he says in one of his episodes is that it's quite difficult to do this, right? Like just do it on one person, right? Because you're very much at the hit and miss stage, where if you have too many misses, they get suspicious. So, but if you stand up in front of an audience of people, like the professional people do,
Oh yeah.
right, then it becomes a lot easier, because they can literally say, is there anybody in here that knows a Dave or David or, or a
Yep.
sculptor? And
And
like, there you go. And
they know how to
and
read the
obviously,
audience. Yeah, they know how to read the audience too, because certain names are more popular with certain ages. So yeah,
that's
you
right.
know what names to throw out if you have an older crowd or a younger crowd. Yeah, it's
A
all.
J name or an M name. Yep.
Has anyone lost a loved one recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Well, and
Does
their death,
anybody have
their
a
death
wait
short
was
a minute.
nickname,
sad.
like one
Simus,
syllable, like
how
Bill or
recent,
Bob,
Simus,
or
how recent is recently?
Well,
Did
it's my
you lose
dog.
your loved one a month ago, 2 years ago, or
No,
5 years ago?
it was my dog, and it was like 35 years ago.
Well, that's
well,
pretty
Something like that.
recent for losing a pet, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're still mourning, that's recent.
There you go. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jesus, you just said. Oh yeah, Mike. Psychologists are basically mediums. This was the
Yep.
idea behind the Young quote. So, did you want to just speak on that for a little while?
Yeah, like most atheists, you guys are throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There's like what Jung said about this and what he was trying to convey is that there is some psychology that's basically your brain is made out of meat, okay? Your brain is not a computer. It does not do rationality. It's made out of meat. And you have all of these subconscious things going on. And if you have a person like a psychologist or a medium or a Ouija board or tarot cards, you can draw out all of these things that you would not have ordinarily brought out of your, oh, I hate the word subconscious, but basically parts of your brain that you're not currently firing. You bring things up. And if you interact with a person interactively, which is what a psychologist does or what a medium does, you can dig into all kinds of things that are actually valid, and you're going to find something out about yourself. Now, when I was 24, I ended up in treatment. I was at the very bottom of my life. It was a horrible year. And I ended up reading these astrological charts for the hell of it. And the thing you got to understand about me is I have never believed in anything supernatural for my entire life. Even when I believed in Santa Claus when I was 4 years old, I had like theories about why he was there, right? I mean, it was always natural things, right? So anyway, but I got into astrology as a naturalist, and I basically listened to it and I meditated on it and I took meaning from it. And one day, right in the middle of my treatment, I had this wonderful 74 AMC Matador sports car with a big engine in it. And I read a little astrological blurb that said that people are trying to use you and take your possessions from you. And I was on the outs with my wife at the time, and I was not on the outs with my girlfriend. I had both, and so I interpreted that as my wife was trying to steal my car. So I gave it to my girlfriend, and she in fact did actually steal my car and disappear for 2 weeks with it. But I mean, and I thought, oh my God, you know, it's like I misinterpreted it, but they were right. And so you got to understand that all they're doing is they're bringing up stuff that you already have in your mind. And that was Jung's point, basically, that all of this internal shit, like how we dealt with our subconscious and with things that we didn't ordinarily think about back in the day, was magic. And so don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's something to all this. Yeah.
I think there's still a major difference, you know, between the two things. I mean, one is exploiting. Well, I mean, first of all, I disagree that a medium is trying to tell you things about you. It's trying to extract things from you and
Right.
feeding back to you, along with a lot of novels saying that, you know, that the death told them, you know, that this kind of thing, you know. So I would be really, really super careful. And I mean, I'm the first
Oh,
one to
yeah.
say that I'm super biased because, you know, when I saw the quote and I read at the bottom Jung, I say, okay, that's bullshit. Okay, it's just me. Okay, I think
Yeah.
this guy is preposterous. But
Yeah. And
but
mediums,
the
what they
phenomenon,
get like
yeah, carry on.
a medium will get like what, $30-$40 an hour, and a psychologist will get 200. What the hell is the
Well,
difference? They're both doing exactly the same thing.
I wouldn't be sure about the $30-$40 an hour. You know,
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
Oh, it's gone up.
oh yeah, yeah.
Definitely
I
more than
mean,
Well, it depends how
$30.
rich the client is in the
Yeah.
case
yes.
of
Oh, it should
mediums.
be it should be a tariff on it because the supernatural world is not the United States. So we should have
Well,
a
I
tariff
mean,
on
to
that
be
too.
fair, a lot of times we give out free readings. So
Yeah.
but if you have
Anyway,
money, no, it's definitely
yeah.
more.
So I
than
mean, you can use
$30
any of these tools, and
200.
like another thing that you want to do when you're dealing with therapy or when you're dealing with like a psychedelic experience, you get a pen out and you start drawing these little things on paper, and these little icons bring stuff out. They bring stuff up out of your mind and put
Yeah.
it in front of you, and that's all this shit is about.
No doubt.
The problem is we have these crazy people believing that they're hearing messages from the other dimension or all this bullshit, right? So,
Yeah, but
the problem is believerism.
Yeah, but this is all the mediums. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
what's it
yeah,
describing? I mean, so they're all crazy, right? Well, crazy. I don't know if the crazy are the people
Well,
who
they're
exploit
either
them as
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, they're either
crazy
crazy
like
or
a fox.
opportunist, or
Yeah.
crazy or opportunist. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this
yes.
seems to be the point. I mean, this is the point that Derren Brown was making, right? Which is when he went to this place in Sedona, which all of these people were teaching different types of, you know, supernatural kind
Divination.
of abilities, right?
Mhm.
And you know, he basically walked into the middle of them and then convinced them all that he was the next big thing in their particular fields.
Yeah.
So he did it to 5 different people that were big in their own fields in America, in California, that were making large amounts of money, and then convinced them that they could do their particular talent better than they could do it. And none of them suspected that he was a fraud.
Yeah.
Right? So they all, right, even though they knew they were frauds, they genuinely thought he was real. I mean, they had to, of course, they had to do that. Otherwise, they'd be exposing themselves. Therein
Yeah.
lies the issue. With psychologists, they're not pretending. They've had an education.
Yeah,
This is
right.
why you pay the big money.
And my
because
point
Go ahead.
was that I had this experience with astrology, right, where I was not a believer in anything supernatural or any bullshit, but I use these astrological charts every day as a meditation to basically orient myself in the world. And the problem is believerism. It's just bullshit. It's just not accepting naturalism. That is the plague on humanity that we're dealing with, right? And this other stuff, they're just symptoms, just symptoms of that bullshit.
Yeah, but that's like, I mean, I hate to go back, but Dave will know where I'm getting this from. That's just the sign of a lazy mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically,
Uh,
yeah. You just
well,
believe bullshit.
so it's not only a lazy mind. I mean, uh, yeah. I mean, I guess you can call somebody which has a lazy mind if he believes in spirits, all the kind of stuff. I mean, if that's what you mean, I agree with you.
Well, specifically
The,
somebody who does this medium stuff but
yeah.
doesn't realize that thinks it's real. Okay.
Well, the main problem is that
Oh, hang on a minute.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go on. Carry on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So the main problem is that usually that the people go to those
Oh,
mediums or people, which predict the future or talk with the dead and whatever. Uh, they lack the skills to understand what exactly is going on. And by skills, I mean, I don't mean that they're not smart, because I mean you can take the smartest person. You go at third, right? You take a bunch of physicists over there, and you bring them to a medium. None of them will be able to realize what the fuck is actually doing, because what they're using is magician tricks. Even cold reading and that kind of
mhm.
stuff is something which is used by magician, for
Mentalist.
example. Yeah.
Mentalist,
it
not magic. No, it's not magic. It's mentalists.
well
Penn and
it's a
Teller are very specific about separating the two.
it's a branch. It's a branch, but
It
there is
is,
also
yeah.
some techniques which are used by magician. For example, with the pushing you to pick a card instead of another, or stuff like that.
Sure,
That's
sure,
so.
yeah.
And unless you're a magician or a mentalist or whatever the fuck, I mean, you work in that field, you don't realize what is going on. You don't know. That's why Cerberus mentioned before the $1 million prize. The people which actually examine those paranormal claims are mostly, there is always at least a professional magician, because they're the one which actually can find the trick. You know, good luck trying to. I mean, Uri Geller was examined by scientists and whatever, and he fooled all of them, like all of them.
Not James Randi though.
James Randi is not a scientist. He knew exactly what the trick was using. So he said, "Oh,
Oh,
that's how he do it. He does it,"
that's a
and that
famous
was the
Johnny
evidence.
Carson episode. Uh,
Yeah, I remember
but you
that.
know what? He's still doing it though. People still believe him.
Of course,
People
yeah,
still listen to him.
Oh yeah.
because that's what they said a little while ago. That's part of the trick. When you're
But
a
that,
Mhm.
corner, you just admit to something,
mm,
but not all of it.
I mean,
You will find some other fish.
so that's the dangerous part, right? Which is where people are using this grift to get money, to extort money from people who are in vulnerable
Yeah.
positions. Mike, I'd like to throw it back to you, but first I'd like to say to you, like you said it yourself, you were in a difficult time in your life when you turned to this, and you found
Oh yeah.
solace in it and help from it, right? But
Yeah, but I
you
didn't
were
believe in the bullshit. So
absolutely, and also you
yeah.
didn't pay somebody for the bullshit,
No, no, no.
right?
It was
But
just
you can
yeah.
understand why it's dangerous, can't you? Obviously, from
Oh
the
yeah.
difference between going to a psychologist and paying a psychologist to help you,
Well,
as
that's
opposed to
the
going
god.
to a medium to try and help you. There's a big difference between those two things.
That's a damn problem. Is the danger when you cut moorings from the natural world and you start to believe in this bullshit. By the way, you don't have to make my doodles big. I'm just doodling to
Oh, okay.
myself here, and I thought I'd share.
I didn't know
But-
whether you had a point or not you wanted to make.
Oh no, I don't have a point. Well, there's a lot of points on there that I brought up, but I mean, it becomes dangerous when we lose our moorings, right? But then you still don't want to entirely throw the baby out with the bathwater, because we are complicated psychological beings, and our brain is made out of meat, and we can use some of these things as tools to actually dig stuff out. And I've done that in the last 20 some years to change my life, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to believe in the bullshit. And how do we stop this? How do we stop that? I mean, this believerism is driving me nuts.
Mike, the problem is that it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
So there is nothing to
No.
save. It's all bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Well, okay, I want to dive into that. Firstly, two things I got to say. The rabid atheist out there said he used to do this when he was a minister, evangelical minister, and he used to use some of these topics to try and persuade his crowd. Interestingly enough, there's another Derren Brown video where he converts a room full of atheists. They specifically get 20 atheists into a room, and on the spot, in front of a Christian minister, he converts, I can't remember how many, I think it's like 15 or 14 of them, to Christianity on the spot, right? And he literally has them all saying, yeah, I believe in Jesus. I fall to my knees, pray,
Wow.
all of that. I am now a Christian. They come in as atheists, hard-nosed atheists, some of them as well. Few of them go out as atheists still, but most of them stay in the room and go, yeah, I believe in Jesus. And of course, this minister is amazed by the prospect that somebody could have the power of the Lord and the Spirit of the Lord and be able to convert people on the spot like that. He's never seen it before, so he's amazed. He goes back and tells his parishioners and crowds that this guy is the genuine deal, and they go and do a sting on the church. It's a evangelical church or a Baptist church, I can't remember which one. And of course, Derren Brown being Derren Brown, right? Once they get rid of the church guy, he keeps all of the people there and then deconverts them back to atheism again and tells them all to go. But it's a trick. It's a very powerful psychological trick that he played upon people, right? And he can do that because he's very experienced. He puts people in hypnotic trances very easily. And so that's one of the ways he does it. But that is him saying, look, there is something here which I'm using to influence these people, right? So to your point, Mike. So it's not bullshit that I can affect people's brains this way. What is bullshit is the way that I can do it, and I'm going to tell you openly that it's a trick, right? But there's nothing, there's nothing. It's just that people's minds are so vulnerable that there's this backdoor hack, basically. Right.
So what the hell are we going to do about that problem? These vulnerable minds, right?
Yeah, and it's not about strength of character either, by the way.
No, it isn't.
Something.
Nor is it about intelligence.
Nor is it about intelligence. Again, another little anecdote from this particular series, which was that he managed to get somebody. He told somebody before. He wrote in a letter, right? The exact product in a department store that this person was going to buy, right? And he wrote it down, okay, in an envelope, and said, "This is the product you are going to buy, all right, in 2 days' time, right? When at some point you will go and you will buy this product, okay?" And he wrote down exactly what it was, and also where it was, and everything. He didn't tell the person what it was exactly, right? He just said, "I've written it down in this envelope. Keep this envelope, and then I'll tell you to open it later." 2 days later, this guy just happens to be walking down a road, walks into a department store, goes up to the 6th floor, goes into the toy department, and buys a particular stuffed toy, right? And what had happened is in the 2 days prior to that, a lot of subliminal messages had been left around at bus stops, adverts that he'd walked past, numbers have been flashed at him in windows as he'd walked by, all sorts of things like that. A television program, they paid for an advert to come up on the television for this thing. Oh, lots of different things had been done to tell this guy exactly where to go, right? And he went and did it all, right?
That is cool.
That's how easily influenced we are. We don't even know we're being influenced.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's no stopping it in that sense, Mike, other than saying it's bullshit. It's bull fucking shit. Okay.
Even that doesn't work though. Did I tell you about like how I got into tarot card reading to begin with? I think I've told some of you guys, but like I had a friend who was like, she was like fascinated with the concept, and I was like, look, like it's like Barnum statements, it's bullshit. And she was like, "No, like there's like symbolism in the deck." And I was like, "Yeah, but like the symbolism, like you can use it like however the fuck you want." And she didn't believe me. And I was like, "Look, let's buy a deck. I'll spend a week like learning this shit and I'll show you." And I did. And I came back, I think it was a little bit more than a week later. And I basically like did a reading on her where I was like, "Yeah, like this is the shit that you're dealing with your fucking boyfriend," and did a fucking obvious hot reading on her. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're so fucking right." And then like started fucking bringing people to me that was like, "Oh my God, like my friend Minnow can read tarot. Like here, she'll do a reading for you." Like, seriously. Like, I started out telling this girl this is fucking bullshit. And she, like, convinced herself to be a believer.
Yeah,
That's
and that no, that's a very important point. I'm gonna tie it to what Simon was saying before. I mean, what you described is a passive push, to that person. Now imagine what I can do to somebody that actually believes in all the crap I'm saying, right? And what I can push him to do in like 10 or 15 sessions.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Oh, yeah.
that. I mean, I can have that guy give me his house, right? I mean, easily.
Absolutely. And people do. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, yeah.
that's where it gets really freaking dangerous. Is like where these people literally will convince people to sign over their house to them, sign over their business
Yeah.
to them, like like have them making huge business decisions for them, like when they have absolutely no training in it. Like that's yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It gets people in trouble. It's absolutely dangerous. And I
And
say
it,
that
and
as somebody who used to make money from it.
well, and there seems to be something too where there's the wanting to believe, right?
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's
Absolutely.
tied with having a fantastic imagination where we can think all these things up, and what if this was true, and you could take it across to religions and everything too. They do the same thing. What if you run into St. Peter when you die, right? You can have all this imagination, and then you can build these things around it, and it becomes part of our reality, so to speak.
That
Yeah.
was kind of
The other
Jung's
thing,
point.
Yeah.
the other thing is that you got to be quite good if you're dealing with persons one on one. I mean, you got to know some techniques. You gotta make a little bit of study before, right? But if you're dealing with numbers, and I mean a lot of people, a huge audience. I mean, I'm sure there's these kind of people in the U.S. too, but in Italy we had quite a famous case quite some years ago.
Yeah, what's
There
her
was a
name?
couple of persons that
It's
they
the
were
mother and
on
daughter, right?
TV. What?
Is the mother and daughter?
Yeah, that
Okay.
on TV they were selling all kind of shit, including numbers, winning numbers for the lottery. And I'm sure somebody does that in the US too, because why I'm not surprised, right? I mean, that is so
They put it in fortune cookies.
okay, but that is so it's stupid on so many levels that is uncanny that people actually gave them money to receive numbers to play the lottery. Because I mean, the first suggestion is that okay, if you know what numbers are gonna pop up in the lottery, I mean, you don't need to sell them; you just play them and you make a shitload of money, right? I mean, that would be the simplest way. But that thing that didn't even click in those persons, and because of they were doing that on TV, out of 1 million people, you will find 10,000 people that are more than enough to give you money, to for numbers to win the lottery, and that's
Mhm.
that's the trick. So you don't even need to be super skilled if you go into that area, of charlatans, stuff like that.
Well, even these little app games you get, right? These little free games. Look, you can play for free. Oh, but you can only play for a few minutes and you're out of tokens. But you know what? For only 99 cents, you can
Right.
play for the rest of the day. And people go, oh, okay. Now, yeah, is it going to be everybody does it? No. But yeah, you get 1 million people to give you $1. That's $1 million. That's a pretty sweet deal. Yeah, you don't have to go big. There's the the two rules of business are, you go big, with the big, deals and everything, or where you go, that enough people will give you $1, you can still make some nice coin and not ever be, big, huge, what do you got, tycoon or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, just lay back and just, no, I'm cool just making my million, and I'm going to sit back and be just fine, right?
Yeah.
Well, and
I
that
was,
was where this chick, she got into trouble with, I can't remember what was it that she started selling, that it was like something with like that you like dissolve this packet in water and leave it on a
Yeah.
shelf for however long. And then if you went back and looked at it and it wasn't all dissolved, well, it's because you didn't do it right, and so you need to buy this.
Yes.
And then it was always like, oh, well, that means that there's a really bad curse on you. So you need to do these 3 things, and more to it and more to it and more to it.
You don't believe right is one that
Yeah.
lots of the cons use in religions too, that, well, you didn't see Jesus because you didn't believe hard enough. You want to believe hard enough, don't you? Oh yeah, I want to believe hard enough. And then you'll start convincing yourself, and then sure enough, Jesus will show up. Sometimes on toast.
Dave, that's even Dave, that's even worse. That's even worse, because what they did was so in your face impossible, and still you believe. I mean, the way it worked, I will literally sell you like 3 spoons of salt, and I tell you to put in a glass of water this big. That salt will never dissolve. It's physically impossible. Still, people fall for it. I mean,
well, it's like you're not stupid, are you? Right? Well, no, I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? You set it up that way, and then you've already got them. You don't think I'm lying, do you? There's certain words, and then people will say, "Well, no, I don't think you're lying. I'm not stupid." Barack Obama famously said, "The American voters aren't stupid." Well, of course they are. But you're going to tell them, "You're not stupid, are you?" And they're going to say, "Heck no, I'm not stupid." Yeah, these are great ways to set up whatever you want to sell afterwards, because you've already got the hook set in.
The issue is that the return of investment for somebody which goes into that route of being a charlatan, basically, towards the people, the return of investment is astronomical. You basically have nothing. You have no infrastructure, you have nothing, right? But
no overhead.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get so much money for the investment that it's uncanny.
And then to be disgusting about it, back to James Randi, when he tracked down one of the televangelists, anyways, they found uncanceled checks in the trash.
Yeah.
Because if they weren't big enough, just somebody wrote a couple dollars because that's all they had, they wouldn't even cash them. It wasn't worth their time. They would just throw them in the trash. So yeah, they're making so much money. They don't care about those tiny little checks. That's how much money is involved in these things.
Jackie says, "I saw Jeebus on a dog's butt once."
By the way, one of the first persons which actively went after this kind of people was Harry Houdini. Harry Houdini made mincemeat of some people.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get any of them out of business, because again, they'll say yes, and then they move city, or change the name or whatever, and they start again. I mean, there's plenty of people that is going to believe that kind of shit.
Well, anytime somebody brings up an afterlife, I always bring up Houdini, because Houdini said if there was a way to communicate from the afterlife, he would find it. And they had the seances for years and years after he passed away, and he didn't manage to do it. So if Houdini couldn't do it, good luck if you think you're going to figure it out.
Yeah, so there's another Derren Brown episode. called The Lottery: How to Win the Lottery. And surprise, surprise, he predicts the lottery numbers correctly before they're announced. And he does it by the law of. He says he does it. He said he did it by the law of large numbers. So he gets a large number of people all to guess a number.
Yeah.
And then the number, they choose the number that the most guess each time. And that's the number which they get. And he actually gets them all, right? Not all, but most of them to choose, like, again, subliminal influencing. He gets them to choose the numbers of the lottery that actually comes out. It's a genuine lottery that he predicts the numbers for. But surprise, surprise, it turns out he's in a closed room, which should give you the trick, right? And in fact, he's doing it after the numbers have come out, and he's influencing people to guess the right numbers.
Yeah.
So
my grandmother, may she rest in peace, was convinced she was going to figure out the pattern. She wrote down lottery numbers every drawing for years and years and years. She had this legal pad, just, you know what a legal pad is, right? The long pads like that. Page after page, all the lottery numbers over all the years. She was convinced she was going to find that pattern. And when she passed away, she was still on a fixed income. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are a lot of anecdotes. Yeah, there are a lot of anecdotes about that. You know, there is the other, you know, famous experiment that they did in a, I think there were, I can't remember, were 30 or 50 persons, and they gave them what they said it was a personalized horoscope, you know, to all of them, you know, describing what they were, and it turned out that out of those, you know, I don't know, 50 persons, more than one half, they say, "Oh yeah, I mean that's really me. That coincides with what I am and stuff like that." The only problem was that they gave everybody the same description. So again, what the fuck, right?
Well, if you read horoscopes, you know, if you just switch it around and read another one, you'll say, "Oh yeah, that's me." You know, they can all apply to you. Oh, and by the way, I'm a Virgo. Somebody asked earlier. I think it was Simos. I'm a Virgo. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that means I mean, I think just going on this psychic reading I'm getting, I think that means that you're called Dave.
Yeah. Very biblical. It's very biblical, I hear, too.
Yeah. Also, I think that you've probably got a desktop.
Yeah. Only when I'm an idiot.
People might refer to you as an idiot sometimes. That desktop idiot.
Hold on a second, because I got the spirit telling me that he also has a YouTube channel. He makes stuff on YouTube.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I show up on Google now. If you look it up, we were all looking each other up the one day, Mike and everybody, and yep, Captive Desk is there, and yeah, it says pretty much, it's pretty close to what I am. Yeah, I'm a skeptic channel, and yeah.
If anybody wants to leave,
also have a dog that's playing with toys in the background.
If anybody wants to leave a super chat, by the way. Just saying, if they need a reading or something, I'm quite happy to do readings for super chats. I feel like capturing Christianity right now.
I've got another message from the spirit world.
Another one.
Yeah. In a couple of hours, or maybe 3. I'm not really sure. Maybe 3. Christopher Moti is going to do a thing on his channel.
Fantastic.
About some crazy guy and the bell curve and scientific science race or stuff like that. I mean, it's really confusing me. There's a lot of dead people talking to me at the same time.
That can't be just a coincidence that Simos was just talking about that the other day. I mean, there has to be something going on here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't there. It's just the spirit talking to me right now, or the beer. Maybe it's the beer. I don't know.
Yeah, I've referenced that one. You're right, Jackie. That is another good one. I recommend everybody look up Derren Brown. He is a superb mentalist, the like of which I mean, I've never seen it in my life. I remember seeing him when he was just doing card tricks in London. And he was brilliant then, just doing like card tricks. His card tricks were amazing, but he's become so much more. You wouldn't believe it. I love another one. I'm sorry to keep going on about this, but it's just bringing up such great memories. Another one, he got this woman that plays cards once a week at a local, like like a social club, and she plays a bit of like crib, I think maybe cribbage as we call it, and he taught her to play poker, and then put it into a game against professionals, and she beat them all. How do you do that? How do you do that? Right? And the reason that what she did is he taught her to read faces, to read micro expressions. It was also she could tell every time somebody was lying to her.
I had a grandfather that could count cards too. He knew where every card was on the table.
Well, that's another way of doing it. Yeah,
he was a little shark. I mean, he was a very nice man, well liked, but oh man, yeah, he was a shark with cards.
Oh, Lucky's just
played cribbage and all that too. Yep.
Yeah, Lucky's been getting a message from the other side. He says, "I'm getting a message from the beyond. The spirits are saying to me, like and subscribe, like and subscribe."
Right.
Thank you, Lucky. Oh dear.
So on another note, we all have that relative, right, which believes in that kind of shit.
Yep.
What is the best way? Well, you maybe have a friend.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's not a relative, it's a friend, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is the best way to approach that person?
That's a really good question.
It's a tough one.
I don't know, because mine fucking totally my approach did the opposite. So
yeah.
Yeah, I would say don't attack people. Don't tell them they're stupid or anything like that. Probably the best way across anything is just to talk with people, without it being biased either way, and just discuss it. And I think if you can bring things out like, oh yeah, and I work into it that, yeah, I've heard about those cold readings. Yeah, I saw it, James Randi, and yeah, it took them 30 hits to hit on a name. You think they would do a little bit better, don't you? You know what I mean? And kind of work that into get the wheels turning. And it's like, yeah, if they were really psychic, why did it take them 30 names to get a hit? And I think, with the deconversions and stuff, I think that's the way a lot of those work. It was something, and they said, huh. And then there was something else, and they said, huh, right? And if you do that enough times, you'll start to think about things, I think, a little clearer than you did before.
My sister-in-law is psychic, and I just sit and listen to her because it would harm her identity if she stopped believing in it. So I just let it go.
Yeah, that's just tragic, isn't it?
Yeah,
I had a friend once who I didn't realize this at the time. She'd been going to a spiritualist church, and we'd known each other like when we were at college or something like that. And this was years later, and I just met her in the street or on a bus or something, I don't know. And she said, "Oh yeah, how you doing?" And we started just chatting. Yeah, it's all good, And said, "Oh yeah, no, I'm going to a spiritualist church." And immediately my ears kind of perked up, because I know how manipulative those churches can be, right? They're not just bad, they are, seriously manipulative. They take all your money if they possibly can. And so I said to her, I said, "Oh, well, what the hell's going on? You're going to a spiritualist church, that's all bullshit, right?" And she went, "What are you talking about?" "No." And I sort of said, "Well, hang on a minute, I mean, I don't mean to cause offence, but like, honestly, they've got a bad reputation in the community for pseudoscience and just, all of this medium stuff and talking to the dead. And oh yeah, that's one of the reasons I go, because I want to talk to my whoever it was that had passed away. And then I kind of realised that I was putting my foot in it a little bit. So then I just came from the other angle, which is to use psychology back on again, the anti-psychology trick, which is to say, well, do you think Jesus would want you to give away like your money and your belongings, right, to a church, right? I mean, fair enough if you give it to the poor or whatever, but but to the church, I mean, they're richer than you are. Why would you give all your money to them? No?
I think, yeah, I also think that one way to approach it is, I mean, it only takes half an hour to learn some really basic tricks, right? So one way might be to show them that you can actually do some weird stuff, divine some weird things and tell them, exactly what they're doing, how you're doing. That should put them at least, the seed of a doubt in them. Y-
Yeah,
just seeing okay, I mean, this is my friend, my relative is doing the same thing that those guys are doing. And again, for some things it only takes
yeah,
half an hour reading some stuff. Anyway, that should, I mean, that is one step into making them doubt, that what is happening is really real. And the other thing I think is to be super careful, especially if it's somebody close to you, to be super careful that at least, if they keep on believing this kind of shit, just to save the patrimony, the money, just to be super close to them, so they don't get their wallet emptied by these people.
yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think it's really tricky. It is very tricky when you've got
Yeah.
somebody who passionately believes this stuff for psychological reasons. Like, how do you play that, right? How do you, if you want to protect them, how do you play that? Especially if it's a group of people. Like she thought she'd found friends and stuff after the breakup of a relationship, and of course they treated her like a friend because she was happy to give money every week that she went.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but again, I think showing some tricks. But you're right. I mean, we got to be super careful. In a way, it's like dealing with gambling addicts.
uh-huh.
So it's really hard for them to get out of that circle because it's an addiction to them at a certain point. So yeah, it's problematic. So I think that just being close to them, or setting up some things in order for them not to go completely bankrupt because of these people, because once
Yeah.
once this money is gone, it's gone. There's no way around it.
Mike, what do you think? He's asleep. Never
No.
mind.
No.
No, I
So-
think
Go
it's time for a pork chop.
Okay, what I don't know what that means. Is that an Americanism? Is it?
Time for dinner.
Oh, easy, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough. Fair enough. Is there anything you want to
Yeah.
add? Like, have you? I mean, obviously, that would be a big red flag for you, would it? If somebody came to you saying, "Oh, look, I'll help you with these, I don't know, astrological readings." I'm making this shit up, Mike. I'll help you with
Yeah.
these astrological readings because I'm an expert, and it'll unlock some potential within your mind. But it'll only cost you $15 an hour.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah. Politely tell them to fuck off in polite terms.
Right. So what about
Basically, yeah.
if somebody you knew close to you was being charged $50 an hour to get the same sort of thing? And
I
you'd
would
said,
try.
like you
Yeah.
said yourself, look, I've used these things to try and unlock
Yeah.
some kind of subconscious, and it helped me. So What
Yeah,
would you say?
it depends on whether or not they believe that there's some supernatural thing going on. Because if that's the case, then it's dangerous for them. It's dangerous for you if you get away from what is real and what is right in front of you, right? And I would try to, if somebody close to me and they were paying money for this stuff, I would really try to help them get out of it, basically, and go get a real psychologist or use
Mm-hmm.
one of the methods that I use. But I mean, my point was simply that there are a lot of these things that you can use in your own life, basically to learn things about yourself and basically lead your life. You just have to understand that there's nothing spooky going on. That's all you need. And if you think something's spooky going on, then you are in danger, because spooky can mean anything. Spooky is like a random variable, right? Any kind of bullshit can get in your head if you believe in spookism. So anyway, I always try with everybody in my family to, except for that one person, that my sister-in-law, because it would
And
harm her
spooky.
identity so much. Yeah. Is Spooky in the side chat? Oh God, I hate that.
He was earlier, yeah.
Oh, I hate when he pops up. He scares the hell out of me. I don't think there's anything spookier than spooky bed hair. It just freaks me the hell out. I've gotten up in the morning and looked in the mirror, and like my heart almost stopped.
Yeah, there you go. That's the same. Yeah. So, Seb, what about yourself? Have you ever come across anyone? You're good at talking people down, aren't you?
In more acute situations, I would say I have lots of experience talking people down, but like spending money on tarot card readings and going to psychics, I don't have much experience with that. I would say someone like, if I knew someone that believed in this stuff, I'd probably take them to one of those shows, where the guy has the whole room and he's naming off names, and I would just react to the first or second name that he gave, and just shake my head. Yeah, you're doing great, and listen, give him the best possible victim he could have.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and when he was done, I just turned to look at him and go, "You know me. All that was bullshit."
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I'm not sure. I think people have tried that, right? And then I'm not sure it's come out with a lot of success, of course. But then I guess, it depends who you're trying to convince, doesn't it? If somebody that, I don't know, would that work if you took somebody you knew to this, in this scenario, would that actually work though? Because they
Well,
know you as well, and they know you were just going, yeah, right.
yeah, well, I'm saying I would be pointing out that the guy was acting like he was connecting with the other
I
side,
see, yeah, I see.
and
So this is
telling me
for
all
the
this
other
stuff, and
person,
he was
yeah,
just, I was just saying, yeah, I was just going along with it.
yeah.
Yeah, he didn't know the difference. He's not actually talking to the dead. He's just saying shit.
Mm.
Now,
I bring
the
up
only way I
there's
could see that it doesn't work is if he somehow is actually psychic and he just nails
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, right.
I bring up there's some things only my brother and I know, and he's passed away. So if you can tell me some of those things, I would be curious, because we predate internet and everything else, video phones, there's no record of this stuff, right? It's only things my brother and I would know. And yeah, that would be interesting if somebody could actually hit on it without making 30 guesses, but I don't think anybody can. Has anybody ever had somebody say something and you thought maybe they were getting a hit? Or do you know anybody ever gotten that feeling of a hit? Or
I used to be really good at cold reading, and I've gotten a few times like the hit, like first time on a couple people,
yeah,
but I've never had anyone do that to me.
I've never had anyone do it, but I did do it to someone called Pillbox MG42. Right. I think some of you know who I mean.
Soapbox.
So we're in a thing. We're in a hangout, and he's going, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah," giving it the usual fucking theist bullshit, right? And I turned around to him and just said, "Yeah, you would say that, it's because you're an Aries, though." And he went, "How did you know?" No joke.
I've gotten
How
like
how
hit,
did you know?
I've gotten like hits before, but not. It's always like things that I could like pick up on something, like a woman wearing a men's ring while you've lost a man close to you, an older man close to you, like that kind of thing. It's not um but because people like I was saying, most of the time people who go to someone for a reading want them to tell them whatever it is. Like they want them to lie to them.
I think it was Michael Shermer brought up that, if there was a way for say like something like telepathy to work, that it would be really fascinating to find out how that, traveled from one mind to another. Of course, then it would no longer be supernatural because we would have discovered how it works. So I don't like to be closed-minded, so to speak, that something might be found that would be really interesting. But so far, we have people like James Randi and then Houdini and all the rest. Penn and Teller do bullshit. A lot of them, they've all seemed to be debunked. So, but I'm kind of hopeful, I guess, that somebody would be able to actually pick a number every week. That would be fascinating, how they would be able to do that. But with all the woo about power of the mind and out of body, or however you want to do it, astral projections, on and on, to try and see from the outside in, it doesn't seem to really work.
So the issue is that before getting to the point to how they do it, they got to prove to me that they can actually do it.
Yeah.
And this is where they all fail. So how they do it, it's a question which is not even on the horizon right now.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing with astrology. It's not even there. I'm not even entertaining the fact that, okay, how can this celestial body influence me? I mean, it can't be gravity, because this bottle of beer has more gravity than Jupiter on me right now. So I'm not even trying to entertain how that works, because
See,
it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
I mean, so I have somewhat mixed feelings on this. So I come from a family of attorneys and judges, and I remember like my uncle very distinctly saying that like you could tell on like the schedule from the court like when the full moon hit, because you could always see that there was like more disorderly conduct and that sort of thing that would happen on like whatever weekend it was. But is that attributed to the full moon, or is that attributed to the attitudes that we have about the full moon, or is there, you know what I mean, like what is it that's causing that? Because I don't think, like you were saying, I don't think it's the freaking gravity of the moon like this.
No,
You're making their
but
brain go haywire or something
It's
like
werewolves.
that.
Gosh, I mean,
But there is something to it. Like what?
Yeah.
But what is it? It has
yeah,
to be something
but
that has-
I mean, the problem there is that people make the wrong correlation, because for example, in agriculture there is a lot of those things. You should you should take these things when the moon is full, unless or whatever.
yeah.
What but the
Exactly.
thing is that
More people's attitude about the full moon probably has to do with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
than-
that one's easy though. That one's easy. It's just that more people are out when there's light. than
Yeah,
when
that's
there's
what I was saying. 'Cause I believe in
Yeah.
this, and I truly believe that's what it is. It's just easier to get up to bad shit.
I was
Yeah,
going to say the
yeah.
same
Right.
thing. So I think we all agree on
So
that one.
that's what I said before. I mean, there might be something, but the correlation is wrong. So
Yeah.
you correlate something to the moon, but actually what happens is something else. That it's more, more often with when the moon is, or whatever, because the time of the month or whatever. I mean, there is a lot of things, but still, it's easy to say, oh, you're gonna plant potatoes when the moon is full. I don't know. I'm making this shit up. Maybe it's true.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
that's
Fuck
a
it.
serious thing as well. People say
Yeah,
that there is such a thing as planting by the moon,
yeah,
right? And they reckon that the plants grow better if you plant them at a certain time when the moon is at a certain state in a particular month.
yeah.
Yeah, my buddy
And
believes that.
this is why, for example, colonizing Mars will never work. Because fuck it, right?
Sorry, Elon, you're out of luck
Yeah,
again.
Yeah,
which moon?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Which moon? Exactly. Which moon? I mean, if there's
Yeah.
more than one, you're fucked, right? I mean,
Interesting theory.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I see.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So, most of this stuff doesn't seem that harmful, though, does it? Particularly, right?
Well, per
Makes me
se,
curious. I get
well,
curious when I hear things, but yeah, again, I think it's just part of our mind, right? We're just that way. So when somebody says, "Oh, so and so can talk to the dead," and you're just curious, you're just like, really? And even if you don't really believe it, you're kind of drawn to it. You just have a curiosity, I think.
I mean, in general,
Oh
believing
yeah.
in crazy shit.
Then you hear them
It's
talk,
it
but yeah.
it. I mean, in general, believing in crazy shit, it's not a given that it's harmful, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there is a lot of people which marry crazy persons and they believe they love them. I mean, that's mental, But I mean, okay, that might end up, that might be the wrong example because that might end in tragedy. But regardless, the problem is that with that kind of things, usually there is somebody exploiting that belief, and this is the dangerous part. That is the dangerous part.
Yep. Strange
Sorry, I
phone
didn't.
calls.
I forgot to listen, Fabio. Sorry. What did you say?
No, I was saying that in general,
Yeah.
believing in crazy shit, it's not automatically dangerous.
No.
The
No.
problem is that with that kind of things, uh, it's very easy that you get exploited by other people because
Yeah.
of the fact
Yeah.
that you believe in that shit.
That's the
So
Bigfoot hunters.
On two
Yeah.
reasons. Firstly, if you take it seriously, and secondly, if you really are crazy.
But
It's
you've
dangerous. Yeah.
got Bigfoot hunters that are out there in the woods. They're not bothering anybody.
yeah,
But then
Yeah.
you've got ones that are fleecing people, and then you got to point it out. Yeah, and it goes for any group. They're not bothering anybody. I don't really care what they're doing. But
Yeah.
as soon as they start fleecing somebody, forcing somebody on down the list, then I have a problem with it. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's an interesting one because thank you very much, Mike. By the way, appreciate you coming by. He says my Ouija tells me that I need to go fetch that pork chop now. Good night. Yeah, I agree with your Ouija. Did he say Ouija or did he say wiener? I don't know.
And
Either way,
yeah,
it's an antenna. So hey, there you go. What I would say is that's an interesting one, Dave, because there's no, something like Bigfoot, right? Well, that's just an adventure. That's
Yeah.
no one's going around going, well, Bigfoot is going to solve all your financial problems. If you just give me if you just give me $1, I'll give it to Bigfoot, and then Bigfoot will triple it and give it back to you in another way. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's hard to take advantage of the Bigfoot one. I mean, obviously, there's Lucky in the chat. I don't know what he's doing in the chat instead of coming in, but potentially speaking, there's Loch Ness Monster, right? Now that's been a tourist trap for
yeah.
how long? And that must have made millions for that area.
Yeah.
It's a big chunk of tourism over there. Yes.
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
that's not dangerous though, is it? As such, because
Well-
people are.
you're going to go see the giant ball of string. You're going to go see the Loch Ness monster, right? It's a destination. It's some place to go. Like people like doing that. You know, they, especially people that like to travel, they open up the brochures and stuff and they see, oh yeah, here's the giant ball of string or Ken Ham's Ark, right? That's, we joke about, well, sure, people are going to go just because it's there. But well, how many times do you repeat going to see the giant ball of string, right? You probably only go once.
Yeah, but and again, you know, the crazy things that you can compare to. I mean, you know, believing that the Earth is flat is as mental as believing in astrology. It's the same thing, right? It's idiotic on the same level. The problem is that you don't go to a flat earther every week to tell you that it's going to tell you that the Earth is flat and you pay money. But if you really believe in astrology, you will eventually go to somebody who's just going to make you a chart, whatever, and charge you money for that.
I don't know, those flat Earth,
that is
some of
the
them
problem.
channels make a lot of money, Fabio. You
Well,
watch the super chats go through there, and
no. The channel is another thing. You know, they make money
Okay.
with people watching. I don't care, and I'm not. It's not my father giving money to them,
Hmm.
right? But if my father believes in astrology and every week goes to a mental case which makes him a chart, or to a medium to tell him that his deceased wife is still thinking of him and stuff like that, this is where it's getting dangerous because it's not going there for free,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So that
it's a greater good issue too, right? I bring it up often with prophecies. There's going to be, you know, something is going to crash and a bunch of people are going to be in a bad way. Okay, well, sure, that's going to happen. But if you can't tell me when it's going to happen or what bus not to get on what day, right? It doesn't do anybody any good. So the question then also arises, even if you have these abilities, are they doing you any good? Right? I mean, if you aren't saving somebody from, you know, a bus crash, or if you aren't saving someone from eating the wrong food, or, you know, whatever it could be, and anything that's serving some kind of good, then, you know, you have a vivid imagination, and you're going to say things that people want to hear. Some maybe say things people don't want to hear. There's a lot of ways to hit the heart, so to speak, but I don't see any greater good, right? I don't see anybody that can pick the numbers every week. I don't see anybody that can tell me things only my brother and I know. I don't see anybody saying, don't get on this train or this plane, or don't drive this day, right? Even if it exists, it's kind of like God. Even if it exists, what good is it doing, right? It doesn't seem to do any good at all. So then there's no difference between existing and not existing.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said that this kind. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You know.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. I was just saying that this is why at the beginning I said that I think that those things are way more dangerous than religion. Way more dangerous, because they don't even have the bonus points of giving you some sort of morality, you know, of moral guides. Which, and again, I'm talking in general. It's just stupid shit for crazy shit. You know, there is nothing beyond that.
No greater good, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Welcome to Lucky.
Yeah.
Psychic Gopher.
Yeah.
Fantastic name.
Yeah.
Not that psychic, obviously. Look at the state
Yeah,
of him.
right. Yeah, I didn't help you at all. Like at all. You never saw that car coming, isn't it?
Well, what can I say? Even us psychic gophers can't get it right every time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it only takes one time that you were wrong. Yeah.
Well, it was one of those that I think you brought up earlier, Fabio. One of those big names, mother, daughter, whoever it was, one of those big name psychics. Yeah, they got raided. And it's like they didn't see that coming, did they?
Yeah. 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 I never saw that coming.
Government showed up one day and said, "We want to see your books." And if they would have known it was coming, they would have been prepared, but they were not.
I mean, to be totally fair, it was mother and daughter, and they had this Brazilian guy, which was the one we supposedly gave the numbers. Actually, I mean, if you want to put it this way, that's the only dude which hasn't put has not been put in prison because he fled the country before they got him. So, mate, I don't know if it was because he saw the future, but yeah.
I saw the what was it, the TV documentary on it was Fortune Seller. It was really interesting, like how
Yeah.
but like they never really bought into their own crap. I thought it was pretty interesting that they basically just saw it as a business the entire time.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Fuck it, And I mean, now they're out of prison because they made their time.
Yeah.
And if you talk to them, they have not one iota of repentment or stuff like that.
That's what they seem like. They have no remorse in the
No,
interviews.
no. Listen, they tell them. They will tell to you. I mean, if you ask them, and it has been done. I mean, do you have some kind of remorse, towards all the people, that you
Mm.
stole money from? Said no. Why? No. Fuck it. No, we did our time. Yeah, fuck them.
When people become a number, right?
Yeah.
You lose the human factor. It's just a number, and if it's $1, it's $1, and that's the way big business and everything. They don't care about the little guy. All they care about is another dollar, and all you become is a number. Then that's how these people see it too. It doesn't matter who they are. All they're seeing is how many dollars are in my bank account. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Then it becomes dangerous, like you said, Fabio, because they don't care about anybody.
Oh no,
they don't care about anybody, not their own mother. Nope.
Well, I thought that was one of the things that I found really interesting about this documentary was that they were so candid. And I feel like that's part of what made it really so good and really compelling was that they were like, yeah, no, like we'll just put it all out on the table. Here's what we did.
Oh, it gets worse than that because well, first of all, I mean, it is clear that they saw the whole thing as a I mean like a business, and they knew that there was the risk of getting in prison, and they actually went to prison, and that was something that could happen, and just said, yeah, fuck it, we went there. The other thing is that they not only they have no remorse. If you press them, and again, they did press them, they will just say that the people that they defrauded were idiots.
Yeah, that's
was just
I was
yeah.
like the way that they were, and I'm trying to remember what the mom had like some saying that it was like, well, like if they were gonna pay for it, if they were stupid enough to pay for it, they deserved it or something like that.
Yes.
It was just like
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, we had a congressperson that said when asked about people being thrown off Medicaid, well, maybe they ought to get off their lazy butt and get a job. Telling sick people, you just need to go to work so you can get insurance. Sorry that you're sick.
Right.
It's like again, they've become they're just another number. Oh well, I'm just going to scratch you off the books. I don't care. You're just a number in a book. You're not a human being anymore.
And it's great because that is a very good example because now they say what they say and they say things on the line. If you're an idiot, you're gonna fuck them, and by fucking them, they mean you're gonna take all the money you can.
Yeah.
But they say it now. They didn't say it while they were doing that. They actually said, the opposite of that. They say, "Oh, we're going to send you numbers. We're going to send you, the salt and private consulting, and we're going to send you, all that stuff." So in a way, it's it's really, really incredible. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are still people that believe that while they were doing that, they actually had that gift. They were actually delivering in what they were saying. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Hmm. That, yeah. So that brings up an interesting point, which is another point out of that video that you sent me, or the podcast you sent me, which is to say that somebody um, was defrauded by some of these. Some of these people, had been given information by the medium. They spent a lot of money, and obviously, it turned out to be wrong information, and they lost some money. So they tried to sue the medium for fraud.
Hmm.
All right. But it turns out that I can't remember exactly what it was, or who it was exactly. Oh yeah, no, it was this guy in the Darren Brown video,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
he basically turned around and said, "Well, look, this is entertainment.
yes,
This is not real. It's entertainment,
yeah,
So and the court upheld the decision and
yeah,
said, yes, if it's entertainment, nobody would really go to a show like that and expect he was doing it for real.
yeah,
So he can't be done for fraud.
yeah. No,
So
and I
so
think I
they win both ways, right? And of course, straight
yeah,
after that, he goes back to doing exactly the same thing again and telling
I,
people, no, it is real. And
I don't know. I don't remember the name, and I might be confusing that with another person, but it's probably the same person that what is the name of that cartoon show? Help me out. Uh, the one that it just came up, the new season right now,
South Park.
with South Park. Yeah, I think that South Park called that guy the biggest douche in the world.
yeah, that's it.
In the universe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
he won the biggest douche in the universe contest.
yeah, yeah,
John Edwards. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah. So Derek Okora is the guy that was sued in the UK for fraud.
yeah.
And he said, well, look, I do this on TV. He was it's something to do with the haunted house.
Yes,
That was what
yes,
it was.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
and the guy tried to sue him, and the court said, look, it's a TV show. It's
Yeah,
obviously entertainment, and nobody could
of course.
reasonably take that to be anything but entertainment. Like basically going, look, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not okay. Take it. Yeah, you don't
I,
deserve to have money because you're that stupid
yeah.
that you believe this shit is real.
That's like the one that put the gorilla glue in her hair for hair gel or whatever, and then wanted to sue because it glued her hair. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, there has to be a point where the court just
It's
says,
in the
"No,
name.
you're stupid," right?
Yeah.
It's
mean,
in the name.
yeah,
but
you put
this-
glue
this
on
is-
your head.
That's a fair point to make, but that's why this is dangerous, because there are people that are that vulnerable that they want to
Yeah.
talk to people that are their dead loved ones, right?
Yes.
And
Well,
if
sure.
somebody comes along and says, "Look, I can get in touch with your dead loved one," and here, look, she's saying that there was 6 people in your family, right? And they go, "Oh yeah, there was 6 people in my family. I've got like whatever it is, 4 brothers and a sister and me, or was it actually no? They don't. They only have 3 sisters and themselves, and therefore it's the parents that were included in the 6 number. You know, you can't leave, like you were saying about reversing it. Oh well, look, it's a dog. I see something to do with dogs. Oh well, it's a cat, because cats, used to get chased by dogs a lot, so that's why the cat's telling me about dogs. What the it's this bollocks, And for the fact that courts can't see through this, or don't wish to see through this, I should say, right? Obviously, because it's maybe they can be countersued or something. I don't know. I mean, Can the guy just turn around and change his mind and say to somebody it's real to one person to take money from them, and then say to the courts, well, it's entertainment, the next minute? Well, that seems to be...
It's in the fine print, Simos, you know.
I don't know. It's
way
weird.
down there in the bottom, and very real tiny, and it says for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, but you
weird.
see, okay, so in a way, this is why I get to a point where I'm really torn about this whole subject, because so for example, if for 6 months we would take away the writing on the bottle of bleach, do not drink bleach, right?
Mhm.
Just for 6 months, and see how many people die because they drank bleach. I mean, do we really need those guys? That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying, right?
Yeah, the Darwin
So-
Awards. Yeah,
Would
yeah.
anybody really miss them, right?
Yeah, so this is where I'm really torn, because in a way, when they say, well, they're idiots, I'm gonna take all their money. Yeah, okay, it's really bad, but is it really bad though? So yeah.
I saw a go-kart that had a warning sticker on it. This may move.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the package of
that's-
peanuts that says may contain peanuts.
that too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's also, that person. I can't remember what it was. That they wanted to sue the municipality because his husband fell off a cliff, and they say, well, there was no fence. Well, I mean, are we gonna really miss that guy? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm really torn about
Yeah,
that.
well, every mother loves an idiot. That's what they
Yeah.
say, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we have too many lawyers with nothing to do. That's what it is.
Oh, that's a U.S. problem for sure. Yeah.
They make money off all them silly warning stickers.
Well, no, it's to stop having to spend money because you didn't put the sticker on there.
Yeah. But you still get sued. That's that thing that all the
Yeah,
Roundup
but we-
things.
but we
The
put
Roundup says right on it,
sticker on the
skull and
bottle,
crossbones.
do not drink.
Yeah. I mean, when it has skull and crossbones over it, wear protective gear. It's all in the directions. And people said, "Well, I got whatever because I was doused in it every day." And it's like, again,
No, the skull
what
and
part of the
crossbones
skull
on
and the
it, that's for
crossbones?
pirates.
Yeah, what part of that didn't you understand? Right? It's supposed to be a universal understanding. No, it isn't. It isn't. No.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, even in children's cartoons, right? The nasty bottle on the shelf always had the skull and crossbones on it, right? I mean, I thought we knew that from our youth.
No,
but
we got rid
apparently
of those.
people don't.
We got rid of those cartoons so that the
Yeah.
kids these days don't learn that.
That's
But
true.
clearly things got worse because there was people eating the laundry tablets, right?
Oh, the Tide
yeah.
Pods.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Actually do that, or was that just
Yeah.
No,
No,
that actually
some
happened.
people were doing it,
Some
yeah, as a
people were doing
dare,
It was one of those challenges or whatever, and it was really getting out of hand.
Honestly, Simon, they were only supposed to dare to put it in their mouth, but the casing on the Tide Pod breaks down with water, and if you bite it too hard,
Yeah.
and that's how they were eating the soap.
Yeah, like you said, like Fabio said, I think there's a case here for Darwin Awards. There are too many people on the
Yeah.
planet anyway.
Yeah.
So hey, there you go. And
Yeah.
yeah, of course, some mother's gonna miss them, but
I mean,
There
why
you
do you
go.
think they put bittering agents in the soap?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
Exactly.
so in
Or
in
the
the
or
US
the-
we sell rubbing alcohol, and I don't know if anybody has ever tried to take a whiff of rubbing alcohol, but it smells awful, and they make it smell awful so that you can't drink it 'cause
Yeah.
it'll kill you.
No, it's
And
just, that's what alcohol smells like.
No, they add stuff to it to make it smell worse, to make you nauseous if you smell it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same thing here for methylated spirits.
Yeah.
They make it purple and shit, so you don't drink it.
That's called sterno.
Listen, here in Scotland, we're so fucking gullible. They actually had to make it law that these people had to declare that what they were doing was for entertainment purposes only. If they were taking money from anybody, they had to declare that. And that's
Well,
how
I'm not.
we are.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's like a good thing. Like
Well,
I said,
hey,
because
Simon.
that takes away the fraud. That takes away the fraud prosecution.
I'm going to give you some magic lottery numbers. It's for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Now, I am not responsible if you go buy lots of lottery tickets with these numbers and lose.
Yeah.
But if you win, I want my cut.
Okay.
Well, that's when I did tarot reading for like an online service. That was we had to have that on the screen at all times too. That it was for entertainment purposes only.
And now we find out we've had a charlatan among us all this time, and she's just coming up.
Yeah, she's done a reading for us all. It's only going to cost us $20 each.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Fox News here too, and they went to court over we are just entertainment. We're not actually news, but people watch it as news, and they lost in court. They had to admit, we're just for entertainment purposes only. But that's just the way to get around it now.
They actually won in court.
Yeah,
they are just entertainment. Yeah.
It's the same argument it was earlier. Nobody's stupid enough to take this seriously argument, right? And it wins in court, but the public sadly doesn't align with that decision.
Yeah, no, that's just frightening. That is frightening. And that brings me on to like the last bit of the topic I guess we'll talk about, which is other pseudosciences, right? So we've got such other crippling pseudosciences such as the grifters for a flat earth, for instance. We've got the grifters for religion, the spiritualist churches. We've got the grifters for the far right, okay? Like the Murray IQ tests and white supremacy based upon eugenics, which is all pseudoscience. Now, obviously, these things are extremely dangerous. Right? All three of these things are the far end of it. So, although we say things like, it's it's harmless bit of fun, Bigfoot, but then like Mike said, it's about this supernaturalism. It's about this idea of thinking that something is real when it really isn't. Okay, so in the case of these other things, right, like spiritualist churches, right, I mean, they are literally a money drain. They want your money, and they expect you to come with a donation every week. Otherwise, you're not going to be very welcome. And then even when they do the same thing that Scientology does, right, which is to start charging you for courses to become a better spiritualist. Right, and that is absolutely horrendous. Okay, so that was what my friend was kind of getting involved with. She'd started paying for courses and a lot of money as well to become a better spiritualist, right? To understand, to talk in tongues and all of this bollocks, right?
That sucks.
A lot of money she was being asked to fork out, and to have these one-on-one sessions or two-on-one sessions with a pastor or a preacher from the church who was going to tell her about her backgrounds and regress her and all of this nonsense, right?
Can I ask if she had the money to spend, or if
No.
she was spending beyond her means?
No, she was a single. Well,
that sucks.
She was pregnant and single.
Oh God, that's even worse.
And she had her own house, but not for long if they'd carried on.
Sounds like, yeah. Fuck. That's because I almost have like less sympathy for like the people who like have copious amounts of money, and like you obviously could like pay somebody who is like well educated on this to like address the issue, but then like you decide to go to like get a psychic reading instead. I have somewhat less empathy for those people. That's not to say that I don't have empathy for them whatsoever, but like for people who it's like they don't have the fucking money to spend and then they get caught up in this shit thinking that like this is the only way that they're able to like get out is by putting more in. It's just oh god, it makes me so angry.
Yeah, well, like it's the fact that they may get a rich person every once in a while that keeps them trolling all the poor people, right? So,
So
there's
Sure,
no excuse at either end. Go ahead, Fabio. Sorry.
true.
the only caveat I would make about the examples that you made is that uh, we got to be careful because there is a difference between what you said and what we're talking about. And I mean, in my opinion, the difference is that if somebody like the person you talked about before, goes to that church and they ask her money, because she's in that church and blah 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 blah. If you manage to pull her out of that church or Scientology, for example, the
Mhm.
problem is solved.
Hmm.
If somebody believes in the spirits, you can pull her out from that medium, but she will go or he will go to another medium.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
so this is where I will draw. This is where I will say there is a little bit of difference there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in some sense, right, the spiritualist churches are cults, right? So yeah, you could pull them away, but that doesn't address the underlying issue of why they want to be in the cult in the first place, right? There is some psychological deficiency which led them to idolize or personify whoever it is in the church
Yeah,
that is bringing them in or getting or is feeding the bullshit to them to get them to
right.
believe that there is some salvation or there's something to be gained by going through the psychological analysis. And in some sense, it's exactly what Mike was talking about, right? Like but they don't have the self defense of being able to go, well, I'm just a cynical old bastard that lived in the, that used to live. He didn't reincarnate. He wasn't a Roman reincarnated. He was an actual Roman. That's how old this guy is. But anyway,
No, but no, but I mean, I agree with you. There might be an overlap of the two things, right? Like for
yeah,
example,
yeah,
so I'll make
exactly.
I'll make a stupid example. Let's say there is one person which is losing all his money to that casino, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
well, okay, so it might be the case that that guy is not a gambling addict. He just really loves that casino. He loves it. So once you pull him away from that casino, the problem is solved.
Mm,
But if he's a gambling addict, you pull him out from that casino, he'll go in another one. So you won't solve the problem. So I agree there might be some kind of overlap, but generally speaking, I see a difference between the two things.
hmm John McDropout says, before I welcome Brian, John McDropout says, people hear what they want to. As long as the grifter is vague enough, you can't go wrong letting people fill their own blanks and pretending they know the whole story.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. We talked
A
about
little earlier.
reading and all that stuff. Yeah, but he's right.
He's just joined here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Welcome, Brian.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
Sorry, I'm
hello.
late. We had a power cut. It's only come back in the last 5 minutes, and I've had to reboot everything. And yeah, so
But you're
sorry,
very
I'm
welcome.
late.
That's okay. We've covered most of it, unfortunately.
Right.
But I've just ramped it up to such things as Scientology, the cults, and
Oh God.
I'm yet to go another stage further. So
Oh dear Lord.
yeah, do you want to say
Really?
anything
You
about
went there?
cults and how dangerous they are, and what they're an example, really, aren't they, of things like astrology or pseudoscience of some sort?
Really? You're equating astrology with Scientology and cults and all of that
Yeah,
stuff? Really?
of
Yeah,
course
well,
I
I
am.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're bullshit. So
Well, yeah, it's bullshit. But astrology, I mean, you just find that in your bloody paper. You just go and read your stars for the day. That's not the same thing as Scientology. Good grief.
Oh, but it's similar.
No, it's not. Only to the
It has-
YouTube atheist, theist discussion mindset.
Okay.
Maybe, but what it's I think Sam Harris's argument of these are the things that give shade to the real criminals, the real hardcores, the inner sanctum,
Oh, good
and the
grief.
inner sanctum is such things as cults, Scientology, religion in general, and things like the pseudoscience of eugenics, etc.
That
Mind you,
makes
I'm
about
saying
as
all of
much
this.
sense as Chris Melty, decrying on kids selling lemonade stand outside their house in the summer because it's the gateway to lemon slices. I mean, come on.
Mind
well,
you,
it is.
Brian,
There you
I'm
go.
saying
That's
this while I'm
exactly it.
turning cards sitting at my desk. Like I'm sitting here with 3 tarot decks in front of me turning cards while I'm saying this. It's not that
You can't
serious.
tell me anything about tarot. I used to read them when I was in my 20s.
Yay. So you'll
I
laugh
used to
at the
have
fact
2
that I
decks.
just pulled the 10 of swords.
Well, actually, I had 3 decks, but 2 were my favorites. I had the Crowley deck for actually reading tarot, and I had the Merlin deck for storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, that is exactly the same argument that Christopher made for lemon. If you think lemon slices are really bad,
But
then
he thinks
yeah,
they're inherently evil.
well, if it turns it's a big if lemon slices are inherently evil,
Which they're not.
then of course allowing kids to sell lemon juice is a gateway to taking lemon slices. There's no
but,
doubt.
But
And
you and I both know that lemon slices are about as evil as a piece of toast in the morning.
So now let's talk about whether Scientology fits the bill of lemon slices in this equation, in this analogy. Right? Do we think that Scientology is a benevolent thing like lemon slices, or do we think it's an anti-benevolent thing like evil almost?
It's evil. It puts Tom Cruise in too many movies.
That's true as well.
Yes.
No, Simon, it's really not about the lemon slices. It's about an archipelago of lemon-based gelatinous desserts.
Well, he has expanded it from slices, yes, and but the question here is whether Scientology are the lemon slices of the cult.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say if you were going to rate
know why this always happens,
Scientology
Fabio.
on a lemon slice scale, I would put I can't find any way to make lemon slices and Scientology equitable in this analogy.
No, it's an analogy, Brian. It's an analogy.
Yes, that's what I just
they're not
said.
equitable.
That it's not a good fit analog and
well, only if you
not a good
accept
analog.
that lemon slices are evil. That was the premise, right? But
Yes,
you have to say,
but I
okay,
don't.
granted that we're now going to accept that lemon slices are in fact evil.
Okay, all right.
Under those circumstances, having children sell lemonade, right, is like indoctrination.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say even if
That's the
lemon
argument.
slices are
Straightforward.
inherently evil, kids selling lemonade, that's just what you do with the windfall.
What windfall?
Of lemons from your lemon tree.
Right.
It's got nothing to do with highly processed lemon slices.
Well, of course, it has something to do with lemon slices. Then that it's in the name, for fuck's sake.
Okay, all right. So in that case, if Scientology is evil,
yes,
and science is in the name, science is inherently evil.
Yeah, but pseudoscience is, right? This is the
No,
Scientology
no, no, no.
part.
It's not pseudoscience that's in the name, son.
Oh my god. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm being Mr. Pedantic. I know.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But look, what we're talking about here, right? Whether they call it science, right? And that's fine. Okay. That doesn't mean it's real science, though, does it? Just because they call it science.
No. But
Right.
then I don't
Okay.
think
So
astrology considers itself real science, even though Scientology does.
It looks good in the title, though. They got that Scientology. It just
So-
Yeah.
must be science. It doesn't matter if it's not or not. It is or not. You've already bought the book. You've already joined.
Exactly.
You already gave them your money.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you
thank you,
and
John,
you've
as
already
well. I
made
know
the inherent
the voice
claim.
of reason. John's always the voice of reason. Yeah. Thank you, John. Okay. Look, the point really here, I feel, is that it's a shade issue, right? Astrology is the shade, which is harmless. It's just harmless astrology. It's just in the back of a newspaper.
Yeah,
Nobody
it's
takes
harmless.
it seriously, do
It's a
they?
bit of fun. Nobody takes it seriously. No.
Except
Exactly.
some people do take it seriously. Some people actually think that there are people that can read the stars and give you predictions about your future or their future, and they're willing to pay money for it.
Well,
Lots
yeah.
of
Now
money.
you see. Now you see. This is where you're turning it into a grift, and that's when it starts. It starts wibbling on that fence and starts falling over towards the lemon slice part of town.
So I think that what they're trying to say is that if you're that much of an idiot to believe in whatever is written on the paper as astrology, you have the potential to give money to the first charlatan that knocks at your home. That
Yeah, and
is
if you're that stupid, then
Yeah.
yeah, Darwin Award. Sorry.
yeah. So yeah, but the
Careful, you're
potential
sounding
is
very
there.
close to
This is
Bonamart
what
here.
I think. Yeah, I think what Sam was saying. The potential is there. And
Okay, well, in potentia, yes, I would agree with you then.
I feel like we're getting close to Bonamarchi territory here.
yes,
where if
yeah,
there's
totally
To
yeah.
what territory?
Bonamarchi, the Italian fortune teller with
The
the
one we're
numbers
talking,
that
yeah,
Fabio was talking about.
the one we were talking about before.
Explain to the people.
Well, I mean, it's what. Well, okay,
And
you
me.
go, Mino, because you saw the documentary. I mean, I believe that, but you saw the documentary, so yeah. Further.
Well, it's like we were saying earlier that she had the thing that she would say, and I can't remember the exact wording that it was, but it was like, well, if they're stupid enough to believe it, then they deserve it. They deserve to be conned. And
Yeah,
like,
right. But that's not a serious defense. I mean, we say it in humor, of course, the Darwin Awards, right?
Yeah.
People, if you're that stupid, then but the point is,
I
like
think that's
Mike
victim
was
blaming.
saying,
Yeah.
well, like Mike was saying, he turned to astrology when he was at a low point in his life, and it helped him find some focus every day in order to get back on track again, right?
There you
But
go.
at no point
Well-
did he think that it was a real thing in his case.
But I
that's
would
not
argue.
the case. Hang on. That's not the case for a lot of people. A lot of people, when they reach very difficult times, right, then they turn to these things. They turn to mediums that have given them some kind of, astrological reading, okay, and they'll turn to them and say, well, so and so has passed away. I miss them dearly, etc., etc. Can you get in touch with them, please? And there's plenty of money that are prepared to take. Plenty of people that are prepared to take money to give them all sorts of bullshit, like you were saying, Elle, about just giving them what they want, cold reading them, or even warm reading them, really, and
Yeah.
telling them what they want about it, giving them
Yeah.
platitudes, in other words.
And
Yeah.
and I think that it's wrong. I think that it's bad, and that's why I don't do it anymore
Right.
because I saw the error of my ways.
Would
Good.
would the person who is in deep grief, who sees such a medium, and comes away feeling somewhat comforted and a little better able to handle their grief, would you say it was a complete waste of time or something that was inherently evil?
See, this is
Yes.
something that
Yes.
I would battle with a lot, and I do think that it's wrong. I still like At the time, I think that I would convince myself that I was doing good because I was giving them comfort, but it is a false sense of comfort. It's not real.
Yeah, and
W?
we're not talking about the person which might take comfort. That is a given. The
Okay.
problem is the person which is exploiting that person. That
Oh,
is
I
the issue.
agree. Yeah.
So
Somebody said
so
earlier, go to a professional. Don't, you know what I mean? Go to somebody that has the education to understand
yeah,
what you're going through and not
Go
take
to a
advantage
therapist.
of you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
absolutely. I mean, and
if you get exploited because of a temporary weakness or desire or whatever, I'm not getting there. But if you get exploited, that is bad. However you see that, that is bad. There is no
absolutely.
redemption to that.
Yeah, I think everybody here can agree that it's a given that exploitation of
Mhm.
somebody who's vulnerable is inherently bad, nay, possibly evil.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think we
and I
would
think
all
that
be
if
in
we
agreement
say,
there.
and I
So
think that if
whatever
we say if they're
whatever
stupid enough,
sphere that happens in, then yeah, that is that sphere. That's that, you know. I don't know what the name is. I wish uh, Jade was still here. She had some really good words for things. But
I would argue though
magisterium,
that
it's
those
the wrong
people are
word, but it's the closest I can think of. Topic. Yeah, whatever topic, whatever sphere we're talking about.
Mhm.
If it's used to exploit somebody, then yes, somebody is using it, whatever it is, for inherent evil.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily make the thing itself inherently evil,
Well, no, it does.
I
It
think it
does
because
does.
it's just a tool.
because
It's like a
no, no,
tool.
no, 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 no. It
Is the
does because
tool
it's
evil, or is the use to which it's put evil?
both.
Yeah.
Both. Listen, Brian, if I feel down, okay, and I take cocaine, I will feel super good, right? Is it cocaine good? I don't think so because there are other ways for me to get out of my depression or whatever the fuck. So uh, you
Could
see
make the
you see where I'm
same
going, right? I
argument about
mean,
amitriptyline.
it's the same argument for what?
I said you could make the same argument about amitriptyline or morphine or
Yes. No, no,
opioids.
no, no. Well, it depends. I mean, if it's given to you by a professional or whatever, that's one thing. I'm just saying that I'm just replying to your question. Is the tool evil? And
Yeah.
yes, it
What
is
if somebody was
because it's
what if
based
a
on bullshit, and
professional were
the person you go to, it's not a professional because there is no profession. It's based on shit.
well
and
given that
and regardless if it makes you feel good, I understand that okay, it makes me feel good, so therefore it's not that evil. No, 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 no. It is still evil
yeah,
because that person
no,
has been
I hear what you're
exploiting you.
saying. I
Yeah.
hear what you're
Yeah.
saying, but and to which I would give a slight pushback by saying that, and I would give the example that there are medical professionals that are prescribing hallucinogens for certain
Yes,
conditions.
Mm.
Now,
yes,
now, if a professional were to prescribe cocaine for a condition,
yeah,
yeah, by your definition of cocaine being
no,
evil,
no,
period,
no, 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 no,
right,
because
right.
no, because
So,
the
so, so
no,
here we go.
because the
So here we
doctor.
go. So
No, listen, listen.
it
It's
is the
very
use
simple,
to which it's
Brian.
put.
No, 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 Brian. It's very simple. The doctor or the professional which prescribes you drugs is a professional. Yes, yes. Some basis behind it. Okay,
Yeah,
there is either a method, a methodology, a science. There's something which is object. You can talk about it, but it's okay. But what we're talking about, it's shit. The medium, the person which is making you the tarot, the making you astrology, is dealing with shit. Is not a professional. There is no method or methodology, so it's bad. It's always
well,
exploiting you. The doctor which is giving you cocaine is not exploiting you. That is the difference.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
they're
What about
presumably
what
trying to
about
manage addiction as well, right? I've
yeah?
been
Yeah,
What
given
about what
morphine
about going?
by the doctors, and I've been given a particular amount of dosage that I can take, and not
yeah.
to
Yeah.
exceed it,
No,
etc., etc. So
I agree with you.
the chance of addiction
It's
is a lot
being
lower.
used. It's being used as a tool in a professional capacity. I get that. That's fine. Yeah. So, the person who goes to the non-professional for their cocaine
Hmm.
is the idiot at this point. Yeah. Okay. Now, what I would suggest is that the paradigm gets flipped on its head in this situation, because if you go to the professional,
Yeah.
they're the one that's exploiting you. If you just went to your friends and read some tarot together and just sort of used it as a tool to, you know, just
Yeah,
bat ideas between each other and do,
yeah, sure, for sure.
yeah, then that's different. Hold on, I've got
Well,
to take.
it
Hang on, I've got to take this. Sorry.
right, and this is the real point, isn't it? Do you want to just say that
No. Yeah, go ahead.
aloud?
I don't know. I don't know how I can make it more clear that
You
one
can't
is
make it more clear,
shit.
but like
One it is
some of this is because we've been in the hangout and we've already talked through these ideas,
yeah.
and Brian's just
Yeah.
joined, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
that's
No, it's
okay. That's
okay.
all right.
That's
You're
both for
perfectly all right.
both the interrupting call and for the fact that I'm late to the party.
That's fine. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But yes, so there's the point about the tool, right? We're not inherently blaming the tool here, right? That's not the issue. It's how the
Right.
tool is used is the issue,
Exactly. It's
right?
how it's
So,
used.
right, but that doesn't mean that somebody coming but there are no doctors, right, that are using astrology as a tool,
No, only charlatans.
right? Only charlatans, right? And
Yeah.
that's why when we say astrology is inherently evil, right? That's because it only has one use, right? Charlatans.
No,
Now,
it only has one professional use. Charlatans.
right. Okay. If you call that professional, I wouldn't call it professional. Exactly.
Well, it's charging money for it, so it's
Sure.
professional.
Yeah. Okay. In that sense, I think that's
It's
yeah.
commerce.
Anyway, it's commercial use. Okay. Let's
Yeah,
put it that way.
commercial.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
commerce.
I don't think professional is the right word, but anyway, let's call it commercial use,
Well,
just
it's
so we're on
commerce.
the same page. Yeah. So yeah, that's really what I'm objecting to. But like
And
I
I
was
would
saying,
agree.
this now goes back to the lemon juice or the lemonade stand, right? It's that fact that people will do this as a bit of a laugh. Some people will do it as a bit of a laugh, and there's no harm to those people, right? But because they recognize it's bullshit.
I agree. Yeah. And
So
I think
so there you
Malty
go.
would be the first person to actually jump in and say, yeah, lemonade's fine. Everything else with lemons is fine. It's when you put it in a lemon slice.
In the analogy, yeah, right.
In the analogy, yes.
In the analogy, right? That's okay. But what we're saying here is that, as his argument goes, that's the shade, right? It's the shade of polite society saying that this is acceptable, right, to people who know better, right? It's only those idiots that get trapped, that have this evil done to them, right? And I'm not an idiot, therefore I don't get trapped. But when you take this when you take this to further pseudosciences, right, it becomes more malicious. It actually becomes dangerous because intelligent people, right, that are just vulnerable at a vulnerable time in their life get trapped, right? So where's the line now? So it depends, it doesn't, it affects intelligent people, right? And it affects people that are vulnerable, right? So now is astrology okay? No, it's not okay because we've just put some limitations on
Yeah,
its
but
use.
I will. So I
it's
will
been turned to
just,
the bad.
just making an add-on to what Samuel said. Let's say that I have a friend which believes in tarots, okay, and he comes to me, he's really down. Say, "Oh, listen, I'm going to read the tarots for you. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just read a book and give me the tarot." And he goes away and he feels better. Ever really helped the guy? I would say no, and I would say that what they did was shit and evil, because what I've just reinforced the belief of my friend, of that person, into that kind of rubbish. So instead of telling me, listen, this is rubbish, I just reinforced him, and tomorrow it will go to somebody which is going to charge him money, because, hey, if even my friend does that and he hasn't told me not only that it's not rubbish, but he actually did it, so it must be good, right? So why
Okay.
not go to a professional? And even if it doesn't charge me money, in a couple of months I'm going to write off my house to the guy.
Okay. Well, anyone who's ever used tarot with any sort of serious intent behind it and understanding it and how it works and all that shit,
Holy
which
shit.
I did back in my 20s, they will tell you that tarot is not going to tell you anything magical. All it is a way of understanding what's in your own head. And if it's a tool for figuring out what's going off in your own head, then it's
depends
just
on who they
another
teach
way
it.
of sorting through what's going
Right.
on in your own head.
Yes. Okay.
That's it.
So I just want to
So
point
do,
this up, which is the thing. So
do,
this is a
do I
quote.
really have to
This
There
is,
you
say
go.
every
hang on,
Yes.
time?
hang
There
on.
you go.
This is a quote from Jung, right? Magic is just a different word to describe a psychological designation.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Exactly. But the problem is, right? The problem is magic. Now people don't see that and go, "Oh, it's just a psychological exert, and naturalism is true. Therefore, there's no such thing as magic." People go, "Oh, so there is such thing as magic, and it affects the mind."
Yeah, and there's
And it's
another
and it
definition of magic which is equally pertinent here.
and it certainly appears that way to some people because they have been contacted by mediums and they get hits. You can go up to someone and cold read them and give them what they think is quite an accurate reading, inverted
Yeah.
commas, or
Yeah.
like they said, like they did in that Stanford experiment where they read out one horoscope, right? Didn't tell people what sign it was from, and just said rate this horoscope. Everybody's been given I think the experiment was something like everybody was given a horoscope reading for them individually, right? They opened it up and they all graded it, and it came out that 80% of the people said it was very accurate. Another 10% of people said it was fairly accurate, and the other 10% just said it's averagely accurate. And it turns out that everybody was given the same horoscope reading.
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But the point is, they said it was accurate to them. Now, anybody that has any kind of vulnerability is going to take that as being magical.
Yeah,
They're not
but
going to
anybody,
take it as being psychological.
yeah, but you see, here's the thing, and anybody who knows anything about the newspaper astrology knows, yeah, that there is a way of writing something which could be interpreted as being applicable to anybody.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called the Barnum
And
statement.
that's what
Yeah.
paper astrologists are good at, very good at. Okay. Now you throw up
yeah, not
the
just them,
Jungian
yeah.
definition of magic, and there is another one. I believe it's
There's several.
Carl
Yeah.
Sagan.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Is it Carl Sagan? It may not be. It may be somebody else. I may be misremembering.
I brought
but
up a load of Jungian quotes to do with this.
But it's the
You are usually a very
any-
level-headed individual, but sometimes you can let your impulses dictate your actions.
it's
That
to
applies
do-
to everyone. Like everyone would like to
Hey,
believe
let
that they're
Brian
usually
speak here.
level-headed
He's
person.
trying to finish something.
the definition is to do with technology, and any sufficiently advanced technology can be considered as magic to those that don't understand it.
That's
Sure.
Carl Sagan.
That is
Okay.
Sagan. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Now,
Now,
the problem is not the technology of what we don't understand. The
I-
problem is that it's not that we don't understand how astronomy works,
I hadn't got to the point.
or tarots or mediums or that stuff. The problem is that they don't work. That is the problem.
Okay, finish off, Brian. Let him
Yeah.
finish and say his piece, and then we'll go from there.
Well, they do work for the purpose with which they are used. The astrology written in papers works insofar as it gets people coming back for more. And that's all it is written to do. Yeah, that's why it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what makes it so dangerous. Yeah.
Okay. But it's there to sell papers. That's
Sure.
what it's for.
Yeah. It's there to convince the gullible that their papers have got something important to say in this
Yeah,
section.
it's the newspaper version of giving somebody their daily Instagram scroll.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
well,
does
I
all-
don't think
and
it's
that's-
quite
that's-
like that, but nonetheless,
that's-
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a more primitive technology. It's the same reason that they put the
Yeah.
funnies in there. Yeah. It's
Well,
the same
not-
reason why you get
No,
you get your dear
now you're
Miriams.
no, Brian, no. Now you're
Not
stretching
really.
over again to
No.
saying
What
those
all I'm pointing out is that it's the reason it's in there is to help sell papers. That's
I
it.
understand that. Now I'm going to address that point directly. Okay. Now you're getting this situation where you're saying, I don't read the papers for those astrologies, but the stupid people do. They'll come back to it. Because
Yeah,
it
which just
entertains them.
reinforces the earlier point that was made.
Right.
No, but it's even worse than that, because I might be wrong, but it seems to be they're saying, oh, the astrology on the paper doesn't work, but if you go to an astrologist and it makes you a proper chart, okay, that might work. It's the
Okay,
same
well,
shit.
The point that I was building to with the Sagan quote, and before you interrupted me then, was the cure to all of these things, because it is only the ignorant, yeah, all right, and the gullible that fall for these things, okay, and the cure to that is and has always been education, and that requires investment. And
You got to add
the reason
emotional
why
into
you
there.
don't, the reason why there's no incentive to invest in, full, comprehensive education is because A, they want to charge for it when you get older, and B, they want people to be dumb enough to be able to believe the politicians.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
only smart enough to be able to do the jobs that they want people to do. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, maybe.
But if you were to invest
maybe,
in
or
education and actually educate people to the same standard that we all are, more or less, in our corner of academia, intellectual, pseudo,
maybe.
whatever.
Now let me just
Okay?
respond to that.
So reduce the number of dumb people,
Brian,
and then
hang
these
on,
things
hang on.
will disappear.
Brian, hang on. Let me respond to that by saying, yes, you're right. Unfortunately, 50% of people are dumber than the average person.
And that's a
And
fact
those
because
are the
I said
people
it
that
on the internet.
And those are the people that you need to reach out and educate. Those are the people that are slipping through the cracks. Those are the people that we need the investment to reach.
Education is important.
That ain't going to change. Even if you educate them, it's still going to be 50% of the people are dumber than the average person.
My contention would be that you do not educate those people by telling them that the astrology predictions that are on the paper are shit.
You don't educate them.
The thing is that you educate people by telling them astrology is shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's on a paper. It doesn't matter if it's done by somebody with star charts and whatever the fuck. It's all shit.
Absolutely.
I want to add something on the end of that, which is also that people's intelligence levels and education standards dip when they go through very stressful and emotional times.
Yeah,
and that's when these people get pounced on by mediums and charlatans saying that astrology can help them, and they find them. And not only that, of course, they find some temporary relief because they're talking to somebody about it. The point is that they're not professionals, right? They're not people that are qualified to talk to them about such things as grief or such things as I don't know, the ruckuses
Bingo.
of common life, right? To say, look, you can help yourself out of this situation simply by doing some basic things, right? If you tidy your room, for instance, right? Oh my God, I'm using Jordan
Oh
Peterson.
fuck you! You
Yeah,
did
before you go,
that.
before you
No,
go
no,
on
no,
to your,
Simon, it's not Jordan Peterson. You are getting your house in order.
yeah, before
You
you,
have
before
to
you
go
dive
there.
in, before we get
Yeah,
into
go
your
ahead,
stock
Brian.
drawer,
Yeah.
Simos, if I could just put the cap on my education argument.
Yeah, please do. Please do. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Graduation.
the average level of education, the average knowledge base, yeah, of your average human being today is vastly superior than it was 100 years ago. Well,
Sure.
200 years ago, 500 years ago,
50
further
years
back
ago.
you go. So we do progressively on an individual basis, yeah, and collectively, we are more intelligent
Sure.
the longer we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, one would
Collectively
hope so.
and
Yeah.
individually.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
one would hope so.
individually.
One, like, I just got to put the
The
qualification in.
point,
One
I'm,
would hope
I'm
so.
putting the cap. I'm putting the cap on it, Simon.
Right.
Okay. So if you were to, if you were to suggest that a human being could fly to somebody 200 years ago, you'd be locked up in an insane asylum. Everybody, your average Joe these days, will happily jump on a plane and go to Ibiza for his holiday.
I wouldn't go to
So
but
the knowledge of human beings flying is now taken for granted. So you educate and you advance the society to a point where nobody is dumb enough to fall for astrology, and astrology will drop off the map. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
there's people who still believe in freaking flat Earth, though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
they're
a
on the
new
level.
that's a new phenomena that's been rejuvenated in the last 20 years.
that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
And
not
it was
that like,
done
oh, we educate people and then like
it was
we
done
like
as a
these
bet, and
really
yes,
dumb
people are that
ideas
stupid.
disappear. They'll fucking reemerge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the internet is having a collective dumbing down effect.
No, there is also another problem. The problem is that it's not a problem of education only, because if you go to a medium or to a person like that, I mean, we're talking about it before. You take the most brilliant person in the world, unless he knows exactly the tricks that the guy's going to use, he will fall for it.
Yeah.
There is no question about it. So it's not only an issue of education in general. The problem is that those people exploit weaknesses, temporary or constant weaknesses of those persons with fairy tales and bullshit, and they
Yeah.
just exploit them. That is the real issue.
There's actually an underlying point. I don't know if you've touched on it earlier on in the conversation. I hope so, because I think it's foundational. And that is, we as a species, we're not comfortable with not knowing things. And you have to be patient. I'm getting there. And one of the things that we do not know, we cannot know, is what happens either to ourselves or our loved ones when we die. And all the time, that question is going to be unknown. And until such time as somebody can prove definitively what happens after we die, then you are always going to have people claiming to be able to cross that bridge and look across that divide. And that has been the way ever since we first looked up at the stars and said, "Ooh, shiny."
I mean, I see what you're saying. I'm not really sure it's true, because flat earthers still exist. So again,
Flat earthers exist again, yes.
yeah.
Hell,
So
even the church
I
knew
mean,
in the 5th century that the earth was a globe. So, I
yeah.
mean, we knew that. Fucking hell, the ancient Greeks knew it was a globe.
So yeah, that's why I said I'm not really sure that if somebody proves exactly what happens after death, unless we do that, people will show up and pretend, to talk with the dead. I'm not really sure that even if it's going to be proven what happens after the death, that kind
Well,
of people will die off,
if
because
alien,
again, Earth is a globe and people believe it's flat. So I
yeah,
mean,
but
what's the
if
fuck,
aliens
right?
land tomorrow, one thing that will disappear is the uncertainty as to whether or not aliens exist. That's more what I'm
I
saying.
doubt it. I seriously doubt it. I live in America.
Yeah.
Really, you think there's going to be people that? Well, yeah,
But
there's at least one
sorry.
idiot that would swear blind that every animal in the zoo is a fake. So yeah, I can imagine. Yes, there will
Okay,
be.
so sorry to interrupt, but we're going to call it a night very shortly.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm done.
Basically, what I'd like to do is, as I like to end, is to go around everybody and get final thoughts about about the topic in general, and if there's anything they've gained from it, or if there's anything that they really want to re-emphasize as particularly poignant or important to do with the topic. So let me just read it out. Tarot cards, medium, Ouijas and astrology, are they dangerous? Was the topic. And Gopher, psychic Gopher, what news from the other side on this topic? Gopher.
Psychic over.
Lucky.
Hello, what? I wasn't
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
paying
there you
attention
go.
there.
See?
There we go. He's back. He's back.
Yeah.
He's not alone. What
Well-
news from the other side on the topic? And the final words from the other side, if you may, please, Mr. Psychic Gopher.
No word from the other side. Because there is no other fucking side. You gullible fucks. There we go. That's the end of that.
Thank you very much. Succinct and to the point. I appreciate you coming on. Headless Chicken.
Yeah. I got nothing for you.
Thank you
Simon.
very much.
Thank you very much, Headless Chicken. I really appreciate that.
Very
Over
precise.
to you, El. I'm relying on you.
I would say that if you think you need to see a medium, you probably need to see a therapist. They'll do you much more good.
Excellent. Spoken like a true American. Thank you very much for that. Dave, are you there? Calling that desktop idiot.
Where is that idiot anyway?
Give us some words of wisdom, please, Dave.
Well, I concur with I think everybody else that these people exploit people, and it's best left to professionals.
Indeed. Okay. So,
Oh, I got a message from the other side. It's Psychic Gopher's spirit animal.
excellent.
And very short message. Fuck you. I'm done with you. You keep on pretending I'm not real.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, not dangerous to you either. Obviously, Serb having a three-headed dog says volumes about his attitude towards the supernatural. But there we go. Do you want to come back on that, Serb?
Oh yeah, no, I don't believe in any of the stuff. But I mean, I guess it can be dangerous, but it's just like everything else is dangerous. It kind of just depends on how you use it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or how you
okay.
allow people to use it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Well,
I
fire
tend
is
to agree.
dangerous. It's also really useful. But...
I agree with that. Tall buildings are dangerous, so it's how you use them that counts. Brian, over to you. I'm sorry you're in late and stuff, and we're cutting it off so short. But
Yeah.
I'm making way for Mr. Mouty's hangout soon.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I'm due ahead over there as well. Yeah, I would just echo what Minnow was saying. See a professional, not a charlatan. And yeah, these things are fun to play with, and yeah, speculating about things that we don't know and can't know is all fun. And it's all fun and games until somebody starts getting exploited and hurt. Other than that, I would say, yeah, come and listen to my show, The Wub Factor. on Wolfman Radio tomorrow at midnight UK.
Thank you. If you want to put your link into private chat, I'll put it in the link
I
down
will do
below
that.
this
I will.
video.
Actually,
As always.
I've got a spanner in the thing. I can put it straight into chat.
Well, you can put it in chat as well if you want, but that's
Yeah.
fine. Okay, I'm just going to go. I normally don't go, but I am going to go this time because one of the topics I wanted to get to is more serious versions of pseudoscience, which we seem to start getting towards, but then seem to get hung up back again on the simple stuff. But no, look, this stuff is extremely serious. Not because it's there's a few grifters that do it. It's because these people that do things like spiritual churches or Church of England, for instance, or the far right pseudoscience of eugenics, which is what Christopher Mouty is going to be talking about, or many other pseudosciences, flat Earth, fundamentalism in all the religions. All of these things are pseudosciences. They're based on pseudoscience, and they're used to con people that are are just indoctrinated at a young age, and so look for reasons to believe. And the reasons they find to believe are these ideas which are pseudoscientific. Now, yes, we can say that that could be cured by education, but the problem is not that it's going to be cured by education, because they're not looking to cure it themselves. They're looking for the pseudosciences because they think they are true justifications for the indoctrination which they've already been subjected to. And this is where the issue comes, as far as I can see. We are in a country, and this applies to political parties, like Brian said earlier, right? It's not just indoctrination of religious ideas; it's indoctrination of political ideas. Your parents are left or right, and that tends to be how you are, left or right. Surprise, surprise. Authoritarian, liberal, etc. All right. If your parents have been like that, then you tend to be like that. And this is still a serious issue because we're all still divided, right? We're not finding answers to these things because, surprise, surprise, we don't listen to experts very often. And when we do, we rarely take the time to understand them. That's the danger of this, is that we are all subject and or potentially subjects for this misalignment of ideas and reality. Right? It's a big problem, like Mike was saying earlier. It's a big problem for people despite their education. So I'm not exactly sure what the solution is, other than to say, when you see bullshit, call it bullshit, and don't play along with the game of saying, well, it's just harmless bullshit, so maybe that's it. No, ridicule is a very good tool to try to disarm some of these ideas. And I know it's cruel to say this, but even to people who are under the spell of it, ridicule can do wonders, absolute wonders, to pull people away from what are potentially very life-threatening situations, or at least life-limiting situations. I think I'll end there. So anyway, we're going to go over to Christos. But the final word, as always, I'm going to give to Fabio. Fabio,
Yeah, I'll try to be really brief because my
you don't have
battery
to
is
be
dying.
brief. We've got time.
Well, my battery is dying, so there is
Okay.
that. So yeah, I would say that tarot cards, mediums, switch boards, astrology, spiritualism, uh, those are all things that they have got zero predictive power. They are bullshit. They are, and they're not even pretending like some other bullshit which has zero predictive power. They're not even making the effort of giving a moral framework or stuff like that, something that you can cling to, to find some good in that bullshit. It's just bullshit. And that what makes them super dangerous, way more dangerous than some other stuff, because because of the fact that it's just a belief in something which is not there, that it's totally, again, I repeat myself, totally bullshit. uh they're the perfect ground for exploiting people, because you're not giving them, things to follow. They're not making the effort. You just feed their ignorance and feed the wrong beliefs with stuff that makes no sense. So it's feeding the people which believes in things that have zero predictive power, just for the sake of it, and exploiting them, for grief and money. That's why I say they're really dangerous.
Thank you so much indeed. Two things. Firstly, remember, I've just put the link to Matty's video, which starts in 2 minutes or so. He might be late, you never know. And please, everybody,
I
go
think
over
it
to
starts in
that.
1 hour.
Is it really?
I think so.
No,
I think
I'm
he
sure it
said
is.
8 o'clock.
I double checked it.
Well, okay, yeah, fair enough.
60 seconds, yeah. So
Okay,
it's
yeah.
in a minute. And just before, I want to say Brian's radio show, when is that on? Is that which night is that on?
It's Friday night, midnight UK time.
Friday nights. Okay, and I'll just put Friday night in. The link is in the
Would that be
the link is
Saturday
in the
morning then?
link is in the description.
No, that'll be Saturday afternoon your time.
No, I wasn't
But
asking
it's
my
5
time.
p.m. Colorado time.
I wasn't asking US
Friday
time.
night.
If you're saying Friday night after midnight, it would technically be Saturday morning, is what you're saying?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it's Friday in America.
24 hours. In
Yeah.
24 hours, I'll be an hour through my show.
Right.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Okay, so go ahead,
Chris is
Fabian.
starting. So no, Chris is starting. So
Chris is
yeah.
starting. Everybody, please click the link.
Yep.
Go over. Leave something in chat saying that you're from the Onion. That would be really nice. Let Chris know he's got support, and obviously we'll see you over there. Thank you very much.